I'm talking about Shawty going crazy. People going crazy in these motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water. Like the 7 Omega. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes to buy from other men? This is a man's world. But
I'm talking about Shawty going crazy. People going crazy in these motherfuckers. Run that shit back, man.
But it's nothing. Nothing. Got a woman on the bed. Man made the car. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electrolyte to take us out of the dark. Man made the boat for the water like the 7 Omega. Man thinks about a little bit of baby girl and a baby boy. And man makes them happy because man makes them joy. But after man make everything we can, do you know that man makes money? To buy from other men. This is a man's world. But
Greetings, Black family. Greetings. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Front Line Blacc News. I'm your host, Chan Krumah. I'll be joined with my other host, Lady Che, here shortly, and our West Coast correspondent, Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, of which I am the co-executive producer and co-host of. And on this season 3, episode 35, or Trade 5, part 2 of the Front Line Blacc News, we will be discussing the topics we didn't get to in part 1, and that is the Ahmaud Arbery case. Ahmaud Arbery, Georgia judge rejects Jackie Johnson's motion to dismiss. Then we got that Ahmaud Park neighborhood residents discusses field house not being used as a Chicago migrant shelter. Then we got Black Chicago stops Brandon Johnson's Amundsen Park takeover. Then we got T.I. and his son fight when a child doesn't find their purpose. Then we got the trial for Jonathan Majors. begins in New York City after numerous delays. And if we have time, New York City Mayor Eric Adams' sexual assault case or allegation, and then our unhoused neighbor news and our unhoused neighbor sweeps. So, for those that don't remember, Ahmaud Arbery was the brother that was killed in, I believe it was Valdosta, Georgia. He was rounded up like cattle by these white supremacists, the McMichaels, who were chasing him through a neighborhood in a pickup truck. And they surrounded this brother, and they ended up killing this brother. And one of the people that worked for the court, this Jackie Johnson, chick, she tried to interfere with the proceedings and get the McMichaels off. It didn't work. And as you know, they are in serving prison time right now. I believe I forgot what the sentence was, but they got sentenced to like at least 10 years, might have been 20 years in Georgia. And they just got assaulted recently. So that was good news. I think we covered that on a previous episode in season 3, and then we covered the Ahmaud Arbery case back in our first season of Front Line Blacc News. So please go back and listen to our old episodes from our first and second season to get a better idea of where we're coming from with this. So shout out to Lisa Cabrera, because she's the one that broke the story on this. If you haven't liked and subscribed to Lisa Cabrera, what are y'all doing? So I'm gonna hop right into it. It's a lot of topics, kind of pressed for time. So here it is right here. So Ahmaud Arbery, Georgia judge rejects Jackie Johnson's motion to dismiss. And that is, hold on, I'm gonna pause it. Somebody just got in the studio. Shabaka, your device is not connected, so you have to go out and come back in. So you need to connect your mic before you add into this thing. Okay, he needs to connect his mic, so I'm waiting on Shabaka to connect his mic. And I'm going to play this video. So there's a white woman that tried to interfere in the proceedings. Her name is Jackie Johnson, and the Georgia judge rejected her motion to dismiss the McMichaels case. So here we go.
Everybody here, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, so there's finally an update. You can tell they are purposely trying to stall when it comes down to this woman and getting her trial, getting her trial started. It's like they're going above and beyond, trying to make sure she doesn't get to go in a courtroom. And her case really should have came up as soon as the McMichaels case was over. She should have been put on trial. Okay, immediately she should have been put on trial. And the fact that playing it all the way up until now, that's what privilege looks like, y'all. Exactly what it looks like. And then all day and all night on getting these people in the courtroom and putting them on trial. And if you remember, this is what they do. Black man or woman, 3 years before we claims put, and this is what they generally do. But if it's the other way around, they sure didn't take 3 years to put Muhammad Noor on trial. They got around to him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But Jackie Johnson, in my opinion, y'all, is an accomplice. Because when Ahmaud Arbery was murdered by the McMichaels, and she tried not to get the police deeply involved, she blocked them from arresting them,
Mm-hmm.
and she began to help cover it all up to get her friends off the hook, who were the McMichaels. Okay, and Roddy, Brian, yeah, you know, all of them. But that's what she did. And the fact that she did everything she could to make sure there was no arrest, she should have gotten arrested immediately. She should have been removed from office and jailed. But in this country, certain people, the law doesn't work swiftly, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it works at a lethargic state, but it sure don't work swiftly as they claim it should. And because she's a DA, she gets out, or there's been multiple changes to the date. You know, if there was justice, as soon as the McMichaels and Brian was sentenced, she should have went on trial immediately after that. But you see what they do when you have the complexion with the protection.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this story. This is finally an update. They don't put in the news at all. Charges will stand against ex-DA charged in Arbery's case. So what happened was her lawyers tried to put in, and the judge rejected it, as it should be rejected. So a judge has refused to dismiss misconduct. Georgia prosecutor accused of hindering the investigation into the 2020 killing of Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery has been 4 years, y'all, and this one still didn't go on trial. A black jogger. So we know what happened. He was jogging down the street, and the McMichaels stood up some crime scenario in their head, just like most of their people do. Mm-hmm. And they gunned this man down for no reason other than racism. Trust me, if it was a white man jogging down the street under the same circumstances, they would not have felt anything was wrong. Right. So a one-page ruling by senior judge John R. Turner comes 20 months after the defense attorneys for former DA Jackie Johnson filed a legal motion arguing the case against her should be scrapped for lack of evidence. Oh no, there's plenty of evidence. They got all of the recorded phone calls that she had with the McMichaels. They got their phone records because the Greg McMichael was calling her over and over and over. So they had multiple conversations. So I don't know what lack of evidence she's talking about. They did not get arrested in February when this happened. Remember, they didn't get arrested until May. She had everything to do with that. The top prosecutor for coastal Glenn County when white men in pickup trucks chased and killed Arbery on February 23rd, 2020, after they spotted the young man in their neighborhood. It is not illegal for a black man to jog in your neighborhood. It is not illegal. A fatal pursuit initiated by Greg McMichael, a retired investigator. And remember, he worked for Johnson. He worked for her. His adult son, Travis McMichael, fired the gunshot blast that left a 25-year-old Arbery dead in the streets. dead from jogging, y'all. Jogging. So a neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, joined the chase and recorded the cell phone video of the killing. And y'all, do you know they showed the video thinking it was going to exonerate them? They really thought the video footage of them chasing down Ahmaud Arbery in the streets like some kind of animal was going to clear their, and that video actually helped jail them.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta hurry up and get another phone. This phone is frying. Yeah.
Man, I think I hear my goddamn mouse again. Yeah. All right, so I'm talking about I'm playing a video from Lisa Cabrera. She's talking about one of the prosecutors in the George McMichael's case, the case,
right?
The Ahmaud Arbery case.
Yes.
She's talking about how this prosecutor tried to dismiss the case against the McMichaels, and the judge in Georgia threw it out.
Okay, the judge threw out the dismissal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, which was good. Is because when you look at that case right there, and they videotaped it, that there's pretty much the same principle, man, on the plantation of how they'll take a disobedient Negro and they would beat him in the view of all the other slaves, you know what I'm saying, to make an example out of them. And that there's what they did with Mr. Arbery, and of course our condolences go to his family and his loved ones. You say nothing has changed. Also, too, man, I just had to say this, man, it was so nice seeing the ponies going back into the barn, man.
Man, it was so nice. Oh, y'all didn't even play like y'all even play ever.
No, we no. Yeah, no. I think we play on Thursday night, and we're playing the Neanderthals. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the Vikings gonna beat y'all. Y'all gonna lose.
Sir. We pirates, man. We can't lose. Now, we can't lose to the Neanderthals just because of the tradition, man, of the city of where the Raiders are originally from. They say, that's why I call them Neanderthals. And then be advised, too, man, they're nitpicking with me again. You know, these wasps, if you know what I'm saying. You know, keep want to refer to one of our greatest icons in the sports world by the name of the slave master that owns his family. And this ain't cool, because you see what's happening is that these Caucasoids, you know, are getting a little bit beside themselves. And some bastard is going to sit up here and tell me about how good they were, or you guys shouldn't feel this way. And I pretty much told them, like, motherfucker, it ain't up to you to tell us how to feel about anything. You see?
Right.
So, you know, so I just went on and deleted and blocked those tricks, because the sister Becky, Queen Rose, as I call her, told me many years ago, you know, because they used to do that to her. And what she did and got him up off of her, she just went to the pistol range, man, and just put up one of the posters where she busted off of a full clip of a 9mm. Man, you see, and I think they backed up off of Queen Rose, you know, and I don't want to have that page tore down, because Queen Rose really went through a lot to help me get it back up, you know what I mean? So what I do is I just delete and block those tricks, you know what I'm saying? Boys Town cheated, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much they paid those
every time something don't go your way, Shabaka, no, you know who cheated? The goddamn Texans. They cheated. That's who cheated. The rest was cheating.
Who cheated?
It was all kinds. The Texans.
Well, I didn't see the Texans games, but the Pony Express. The only thing I know, the Pony Express is backing up Bond.
The NFL's so whack now. It's so whack now. Like, they don't even. You can't do nothing. They calling bullshit ass calls all season long. It's been like this.
Yeah. And so, but basically, this here supports the premise of what we've been saying all along, of where we should be forming our own professional sports league, is because we generate so much revenue for it. And I don't know if it was Dr. DeGruz that said it.
With basketball. I was doing out with the basketball with the big three, and then we need to be doing something the football with the AFL.
Yeah, and we should be doing something for all the professional sports, is because our people generate the revenue for it. Let's see. Yeah. So
we'll discuss that, and then hopefully Lady Che will be joining us by the end of this video or before.
All right. No, it looks like somebody's trying to chime in right here. Oh, okay.
That right there just goes. They automatically gets them out of everything, including murder. That video, I believed it was going to exonerate them, and it didn't. It backfired.
Mm-hmm.
So, in November of 2021, the McMichaels and Bryan were found guilty of murder in Glenn County Superior Court, and I will never forget that. They were crying,
mm-hmm.
and Roddy Bryan, you could really see his face welling up.
Oh yeah.
A judge sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah, they got life. That's
right. Jury in U.S. District Court convicted all three of federal hate crime charges in February of 2022. The McMichaels received a second life term during sentencing in August, while Bryan, he got 35 years in prison. Now, remember, Bryan is also going on trial for SA of a few women that have come forward and filed charges on him. So he should have another trial. So the 35 years ultimately can add up to way more time behind bars.
Good.
Greg McMichael is incarcerated at the Augusta State Medical Prison. More than 2 months passed before McMichael and Bryan were arrested on murder charges in Arbery's death. Now, that was because of the public outcry.
Yep.
See, if the public didn't raise hell, and we weren't on social media doing videos, bringing awareness,
okay, she faded out.
Michaels each received a second life term.
You can't hear the video at all, Shabaka?
No, it's distorted. She's fading in and out.
Right now.
Okay. Alrighty. And then also too, I want to give a shout out there to Sister Rosa Spark. Okay. And we're in communication with her of trying to set up a special edition on her brother with her brother Paris, and basically she
Shabaka.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your Denver office right there is having some technical difficulties. Okay, coming to you here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Definitely check out our podcast, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, in which Jesse Perez is the co-executive producer of. We will be having a special edition coming up within the next 10 days with a prominent personality on social media. Okay, and then folks, if you're out there, you can go into our chat room if you would like and put down, whatever topics you would like for us to discuss. Oh, okay, there's Brother Che. He's back on. So yeah, Brother Che, just like
off the studio.
Okay. Okay, man, lose that hat, man.
Never that. That will never happen.
Man. So anyway, so Sister Rosa Sparks, she's a content creator, and she's mainly up there on Twitter, and so we're in communication with her for a special edition. She says just as long as it's dealing with social issues and what have you. Okay, we got a comment here. Grand Rising, sound distorted, not clear. Anyway, keep up the good work. Power to the people. We most definitely appreciate the comment there from that Facebook user right there. We have kinks in the line and working on it.
Shabaka, I'm going to have to restart
appreciate the comment.
I'm going to have to restart the browser.
Okay, do you have enough? Okay, can you get your computer closer to the router?
Yeah, it's right here. I just need to reset it because it's acting stupid.
Okay, well, that's probably the monkey wrench,
Just keep talking, Shabaka. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Okay, all right. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, just to give you a update, we was talking about the Ahmaud Arbery case, and where the brother was jogging down there in Georgia, and which he was murdered, by these three white supremacists, and one of them, is getting hit with some additional charges in an unrelated case. So hopefully, all three of those sacks of shit would die in jail, and hopefully, it's very, very difficult for them in there. And most definitely, our condolences to Mr. Arbery's family as well too. In addition, condolences, to Mr. Jalen Walker's family, because from what I understand, in Cleveland, Ohio, they're not going to charge these police officers. So what's happening is, and we're telling this here around the world, please spread it here what we're about to say. There is a conspiracy in the United States of America, okay, to exterminate Black men, okay? Mm-hmm. So once again, the reason why they are doing this is because they have systemically did this plan. It took them over 50 years to do it, according to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. And everything that Dr. Welsing had stated back in the mid-1970s through the 80s, throughout her career as an educator, is starting to come into pass. Now, one thing is about these white folks. They do long-term plans. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on top of it, when we have conscious Black people up here, we get trolled by dumb.
What happened last night?
Yeah, exactly.
We get trolled after you had logged off, we got trolled like a mug. We had some white broad talking about how she fetishizes over Black men and all kinds of shit, and she tried to disrupt the end of the whole program. But here's Lady Che. Greetings, Lady Che.
So now we got perverts coming after us. Okay, and I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that individuals out of the great state of California. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the only time that we're gonna say this right here, is that, see, it's not that we hate anybody, it's that we love ourselves. You see what I'm saying? More so than we love our oppressors. Hey, there's Lady Che.
Hey.
Greetings from Sin City, Lady Che. We were so happy to see the ponies go back into the barn. You know where they got to sow their own oats. Okay, the Raiders was playing Neanderthals Thursday night, so we got to smash the Neanderthals. Okay, and then also too, I've been getting trolled, by Neanderthals off in some other sports groups because they disrespecting the memory of the heavyweight champion. Okay, and with me living in that era, okay, no, that's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to disrespect the greatest of all time. You see what I mean? And what have you? And then also too, for all our haters out there, please keep your hate mail coming. We love your hate mail. We love your ignorance. You know what we're saying? And really, in the long run, we feel sorry for your dumb asses. But you're not going to come up here and disrespect us. And I'm sorry, I missed the trolling at the end of the episode last night when I had to sign off. So if you could send me the link to that there, Brother Che, I would like to review it. And then also too, and we want to give a shout out there to our anchor man, the one and only Ramel Understanding.
Yes,
I spoke with him today.
In the car,
so
you did.
How's he doing? Okay, he's doing all right.
His phone has been off for 2 months or 3 months now.
Yeah, and okay. So when you gonna get another communicator on, Brother Che?
I mean, I got the text now for now. Sometime next year. Hopefully.
Okay.
The beginning of next year.
Okay. Yeah, because we are in the last month, and then also too, ladies and gentlemen, on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, we're going to have the one and only Miss Rosa Sparks with us in the very, very near future. So we most definitely, we'll be putting it up there. So we're in the process of doing preliminary work, for the upcoming episode. It will be a special edition. So all our supporters for Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, please play all our back episodes as much as possible, is because we're doing an experiment with it for about the next 2 months. It's because, see, Front Line Blacc News, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, and all major black media is that we're being shadow banned, okay?
Yep.
They want us to sit up here and love track.
Several people that I follow, that I'm subscribed to today. It was really weird.
So they lying on the algorithms, okay? It's because how the hell, man, we're gonna get 10 callers and you only saying we got 2 listens, but we got 10 callers. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and then the way it's been going is that each one of those callers, will count as a listener, and then of course you do have those who listen to it on the internet as well too. But however, Blog Talk, this is why we downgraded our package plan until it bosses back up, you see. And if there's a way that we could sue your asses, that'll be beautiful. So we researching that too. Now also too, Brother Che, if you would tell us, could you give us some samples of what the trollers was talking about, after I signed off last night?
So this Becky troll named Sue came in here talking about how much she loves black men, and she want a black man, and she want a black king, and all this shit. And me and Lady Che was clowning the hell out of her.
Okay, and then keep in mind that there's the type of individual that's gotten so many black men lynched on a plantation system during slavery. Okay.
That's
about right.
And then I went
into, that's about right.
Them brides will never be a black woman. They emulate black women. They wish they could be black women. They can never come in parallel. Like they can't never, they can never do the things that black women do. in any capacity. You know what I mean? So yeah, and infanticide is such an ugly quality. And it was a lot, man. And she caught me in rare form because I was like, you can come get these hands. And basically, she was like, after that, she went on to address Jesse personally. And I was like, shit, I guess you can come get these hands and I'm gonna run your pockets. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. All right.
like that shit. Well, I thought that I didn't like it, but it was just really fucking ridiculous.
Like she was gonna take me from Lady J and just stupid shit. It was
Yeah,
really
it was like,
stupid.
man, you think you can? You got the heart, man. Maybe
Okay. All right. Okay, so we got so Lady J. Okay,
yes,
we got trollers. That is a good thing. Okay, we got our haters out there, and like I said, we love our haters. We really do love you, haters, is because we love seeing you burn up your energy with your hatred. And what we do is with your negative energy, we change the polarity on it and turn it to positive energy for our benefit and the benefit of us informing our people of what's really going on. Yes, and I will say it again.
About Black women, like they don't get enough representation, of all the good things that Black women and the magical things that Black women do. So that just gave me a motivation to go ahead and incite the motherfucking riot act about how great Black women are and what all the good shit that they do, all the good things, all the goodness that's behind the magic and fucking, these motherfuckers just when they say shit like that, it catch it's like for me, it's like, look, I'm one of those people that when you outside, like, say it, do it out, like when you come talk to me in person. You hear me? This YouTube shit is not like a real thing for me. So, come talk to me in person. If you can, you think you got the heart, man, come get these ads. Like, I don't put a lot of energy into this thing, but I just didn't like the fact that she was a fetishizer. She started off with saying something really like basically, what she wants, like BBC and all that extra shit. Excuse me, I didn't mean to be derogatory. You know what I mean? But I was just like, ew, like, and then made some comment about Kobe, and I was like, well, there you go, there you have it. That's like the type of broad that she really is. Put a motherfucker under the jail type shit, and she just was relentless. But I was like, I was kind of like, what else you gotta say? Like, to you right here in front of me, it's just all chit chat. And as long as everybody knows, even in public, they know that they don't even want to hear this argue, go back and forth with a bitch, let alone in person, because I don't have no filter, and I like to fight, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But it just was disrespectful, and the fact that she just kept going and then was like trying to provoke, and then was like, oh well, Jesse.
Okay, I don't mean to cut your wisdom, Lady Che. Everything you're saying is right. But see, but where she's getting her jollies at is trying to provoke this type of situation. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now in a reverse scenario, what's happening that I'm seeing in what's happening with your generation, Brother Che, is that you're getting a lot of these white boys like that Aaron Hernandez dude that used to play for the Chiefs that was married to the black woman and he beat her up and something happened to that bastard and may he rest in piss, okay? Because see the thing is that you have to understand is that on that plantation system, and oh boy, this is some heavy shit that I'm getting ready to put down. I even had to back up off of it. See, it was a sexual trip. That went with it as well too. You see, now when you go out to a perverse ass city like Los Angeles, you see what I'm saying? They put that shit out there. That's what that Hollywood crap is all about. And then of course, up there where those transformers come from, you see what I'm saying? You know, they with that alphabetized agenda. And then they got these black ass politicians, you know, or mainstream black politicians. I mean, Democrat, Republicans alike. There's no difference between the two. It's because they're two sides of the same coin. You see, they talk all this inclusivity bullshit, but then the slave master tell them, "Oh no, y'all can't be talking about a black only agenda. That's racist." Motherfuckers, we're in no position to implement no racism, because you could best believe, white America, if we were in a position to return some favors on you sons of bitches, oh yeah, it would make 1992 look like a damn Girl Scout camp.
Mm-hmm.
See, but we're not like that, you see. And this is what you are in fear of, white America. And me personally, I don't give a damn how the fuck you feel.
Right.
You see, cut the goddamn check. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so getting back to the topic at hand, so this damn prosecutor, she tried to get the McMichaels off to bring Lady Che up to speed. And Lisa Cabrera is giving us the rundown on the judge denying her motion to dismiss the McMichaels case. As you know, Lady Che, we covered in our second season, Ahmaud Arbery killer's sentencing. And
right.
Yeah, so Lisa's just giving us an update on the prosecutor who is friends with the McMichaels, and how she was trying to get them off, and she was trying to sweep the whole Ahmaud Arbery case under the rug.
Right. Yeah, just forget about it. Don't talk about it. Never mind Emmett Till. Never mind about all the brothers who was castrated and lynched and had their private parts cut off and put in their mouth. Oh no, you know, we all ain't like that. And then frog face, you segregation yesterday, segregation today, segregation mom. You know what I'm saying? And we supposed to forget that. And then of course the dump, as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear. He is clearly stating of how all you white people feel. I don't have a problem with the orange dude. Now, where I got the problem at is that damn Kamala Harris, okay, brain dead ass Negro Eric Adams. Let's go Brandon of Chicago, you know, the quote SARS.
Yeah, we're about to get on all of that, Shabaka, but first we got to finish up this Ahmaud Arbery situation. So
right.
yeah, we're gonna get going to Chicago next with Brandon.
Okay, and then of course with that situation with Mr. Arbery, you know what I'm saying, where they murdered that 18-year-old young man. He was just out doing road work, and then white America, and I'm just gonna tell you about it. You guys will go off on some half-ass bullshit trying to invent shit of why that you just wanted to kill a brother, period. You see what I mean? Okay, and then and I want to reach out to all you black FBI agents, all you black police officers. Don't you know that your families are subjugated to getting fucked off like this here too? So I wonder if any of you black law enforcement officials out there, okay, have yet to suffer a loss to your family because of your colleagues or co-workers or whatever, you know, decided, well, we just want to go out here and pick a nigga today. You see what I'm saying? So I wonder, you know, how those black law enforcement officials feel about that. And then when you black law enforcement officials are going to form a task force, you know, to save us.
Never. But then, when they become a police officer, they forget their blackness. They just
Well, they probably go through some extensive background training to make sure they got all their Coon Train Award credentials.
Oh yeah, big time. You don't have to be smart to be a pig either. So we're gonna let Lisa with this Ahmaud Arbery situation.
Is that Lisa Cabrera right there in the picture?
No. That's the Jackie Johnson prosecutor that was trying to get the McMichaels off.
Oh, man.
Lisa's in the corner, like how we are set up on the StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
Now, Aubrey's death, which happened after Brian's graphic video was leaked onto and, you know, on the online social media, and the Georgia Bureau of investigation took over the case from local police. So that's how they got involved, thanks to everybody on social media that was sharing the videos and creating the videos. And you never know until you see incidents like this how powerful social media really is. In fact, I will go as far as saying social media now drives the news, not mainstream news. Mainstream news do not drive the news in the country. Social media does.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
she's
a
got a
grand
point
jury
on that.
indicted in connection with Arbery's death in September of 2021, charging her with a felony count of violating her oath of office and with hindering a law enforcement investigation, a misdemeanor. Yes, she interfered by trying not to let the police arrest them. That's what she did. And she knows she's wrong, y'all. You know, when people do stuff like this, they are fully aware that they're wrong. But if they think they can get away with putting that out there, they're going to try. The case against Johnson moved at a crawl for more than 2 years. It sure did. And that's unlikely to change in the near future. One of Johnson's defense attorneys, Brian Steele, is representing the rapper Young Thug. All right, so they're using the excuse that he's representing Young Thug as a means of slowing down her case, and that shouldn't happen. So you mean to tell me a lawyer can't juggle more than one case?
That's bullshit.
Is that what they're trying to say? Because that's what they're trying to say, and I call BS on that one. So the trial itself is expected to last several months more. They're talking about Young Thug. So the lawyer is incapable of handling, or he doesn't have other lawyers in his office that can take over this case. I don't believe that. I think y'all using that as an excuse to keep Jackie Johnson free. So anyway, the case against Johnson is being prosecuted by Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr's office. The indictment alleges that Johnson used her office to try to protect the McMichaels and told Glenn County police officers the day of the shooting that they should not arrest Travis McMichael, who was the trigger man against Ahmaud Arbery. So Johnson has pled not guilty and denied wrongdoing, saying she immediately recused herself from the case involving Arbery's death because Greg McMichael was a former employee, which is a lie. She didn't. That's why they were able to stay out for 2 months. She did not recuse herself. By the time she did recuse herself, it was too late and she lost the election for DA because the public was mad at her. So she lost her position as the DA. And she did not immediately recuse herself. That's a lie. So her defense attorneys filed a motion in March of 2022 seeking to dismiss the case. They argued there was, they're trying to say there was not enough evidence to support the charge of hindering police. Prosecutors responded in May of 2022 with a court filing that listed 16 calls between Johnson and Greg McMichael in the days and weeks following the shooting. 16 phone calls. So how is that you recused yourself immediately? She didn't. One of the calls lasted 21 minutes, according to court documents. By the time she was indicted, Johnson had already been voted out of office. She has said the controversy over her handling of Arbery's killing played a role in her losing re-election in 2020. You didn't deserve to have office.
Right.
Anytime you're going to cover up a murder, you didn't deserve to have office. I'm glad you got voted out.
Right.
Following her indictment, she turned herself in to Glenn County Jail and was released without having to pay a cash bond. Wouldn't that be nice when people in our community get arrested and they can just skip on out of there within an hour with no bond? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
While Johnson's case has idled, Arbery's killers have been convicted and sentenced in state and federal courts. No, I'm against her having any preferential treatment.
Right.
See, once she was out of office, they should have immediately moved on her.
Exactly.
And got her placed behind bars. She doesn't deserve to be free for what she did, her role in this whole thing. She don't deserve to be free at all.
At all.
So, you know, it just goes to show you if you are, you know, and I'm sure she knows a lot of the judges. If she was a DA, these judges and defense attorneys, she knows all of them.
Yep.
She was a prosecutor. She's probably familiar with a lot of them.
They're all the colleagues. Yeah, they're all the colleagues. All of them are lawyers.
And that could be the driving reason why she's not behind bars to this very day. Because she got those connections. This woman got the baggiest looking eyes I have ever seen who the hell she looked like, anybody in my life.
She like a younger Carolyn Bryant.
Eyes, but her eyes, oof, man. She got some baggy ass looking eyes.
Rest is shit.
Wow.
Oh, well,
yeah,
look,
that is really sad.
You can.
And on top of that, they got to go to jail right away for crimes they never committed. They don't get to sit out for 2-3 months and almost 4 years after the crime. As of this coming February, Ahmaud Arbery has been dead for 4 years.
Okay.
And Jackie Johnson is still free. She's still free. 4 years later.
One of our viewers is Shelton. So, Lady Chick, can you see the comments?
Us to believe that their system works. Yeah, I guess it works in the way you rigged it up, I suppose.
Hey, new comments.
Okay.
Just wondering.
Okay, and I'm on my cell phone and not the laptop.
Okay.
Well, but we definitely appreciate all our well wishes.
Yeah, if she should have been locked up years ago, y'all.
Right.
She should have been locked up years ago.
Ooh, just like George Brockler's ass should have been locked up years ago for his dragging the feet on prosecuting the killers of Elijah McClain.
Yeah. Well, you see, this here just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, is that a lot of these cases should be pulled away from the states. Colorado, California, the Carolinas included, definitely Illinois, definitely Texas, and taken off into the federal courts. Because see, what's happening is here, as I've stated before, many years ago, Brother Che, you saw it, my YouTube video I did from the California State Supreme Court, is that what's happening is that this court system all across the board is morally bankrupt. Okay. And what it is that they want to use the courts, they want to use medications, they want to use all kind of socio-economical things to eliminate the black male. You see? Because the white boy, you know, if he loves the black female more so than he loves the white female, because the white female does not have the attributes that the black female does, you see. And then there's a lot of black females out there, and ladies, hit me with your hate mail. I got to say this, okay? There's a lot of black females out here with this ratchetness and sexy red type of bullshit and all this twerking and shit up there about a Hollywood, where you're up there on an auction block again, you know, want to go get the white slave master, because he lost regard for the black male. But this was systemically done out of the late 1960s into the early 1970s to kill the black family unit, to get the black male out of the household. It's because I've seen memes on social media where you would have the 8-year-old boy sitting at the dinner table, you would have the mama sitting at the dinner table, and you would have the teenage daughter sitting at the dinner table, where the teenage daughter said that she does. Okay, what's cracking? Tapping. I'm about to hit this shower, then I'll be back. Okay, oh, Jay Militant, yeah. Yeah, man, Jay Militant, your 40.
Niner, bang, bang.
Man, the Niners, man, bought that game, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't see the birds going out like that.
When Shabaka, you say that same thing.
What's that?
That it was fixed and that somebody paid off.
It was fixed.
Somebody definitely paid off the Western Army. They definitely did.
Man, sir. The Pony Express, they had to go back to the barn. They had to go. They could sow their oats. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So the Raiders, we need everybody in the AFC West to lose, including the Pony Express. And then we got to win the rest of our games. If everybody lose in the AFC West, and then if the Raiders win what's the remaining of their games, they might have half a chance. Other than that, man, what they need to do in the offseason is rebuild the team. Okay, got to rebuild the team. Okay, well, that was Jay Militant saying here, Debo. Oh, man. KC lost. Okay, that's good. KC lost. Okay. Okay, that's good news that Kansas City lost. Okay. And so then the Raiders is playing the Neanderthals on Thursday night, which is the Vikings. Okay. And they were funky, stinking, nasty savages that did not know how to wash their nasty asses. Now, see, this is the problem with you other groups out there, is that when we tell you the truth about your stinking self, then we all kind of haters and all kind of racist and all that. But you don't have shit to worry about, white people. Why? Because we don't control your murderous police department. We don't control your murderous prosecution system. We don't control none of that. Okay, but ass scratchers like Larry Elders or Brandon. What's that fool's name in Chicago? Brandon Johnson?
Yeah, we're going to get on him next.
Oh, okay. All righty. Okay. Yeah, we'll get on his scrub ass in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, he's just a chill. He's just a puppet for the Democrats. Oh yeah. That's who the
Minnesota. Yeah, Jay Militant. Yeah, the Minnesota Neanderthals. Yeah, that fits. Yes, sir. Because you know the Vikings are filthy, nasty ass savages, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they were nasty. You know, and then of course, you know, we expect to be shadow banned again. You know what I mean?
Everybody that's tapping in right now, we got about 5 people viewing, 5, 6 people.
Please, yeah, and folks, please spread the video and definitely please spread our content and definitely go to the Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced Like page on Facebook. Please like it and follow us if you will. Definitely check out us on Blog Talk on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. We're here with Brother Che on Front Line Blacc News as well too. So we're building this platform, folks, and we're kind of like an Ali's Alley. And for those who don't know, what Ali's Alley was, the older he got, he would spare his strength. You know, he'll go out there, put in work in the beginning of the fight. Then he'll coast a little bit, and then he'll turn it all on at the end. And a classic example of that was his last great fighters, of course, which was in the thrilling Manila.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
So
and then
let's
also
Lady
too.
Che, Shabaka, real quick. Lady Che, what's your thoughts on
Okay.
Ahmaud Arbery situation with this crooked ass DA prosecutor that is finally gonna face time for her complicity in deliberately attempting to cover up the Ahmaud Arbery case?
I mean, it's about time, but it should have happened. Should have happened then, you know. All this shit just takes fucking years and years and years, and then it's not as satisfying when it happens. You know, like it's really not as satisfying that this what you consider justice, um, 4 or 5 fucking years later, after the act was done and the shames and you know
Okay,
death and everything was just displayed for everybody, including the fucking trial and the lives and everything. It's just not as satisfying
Right.
as it would have been if when it would have happened if they would have just got that bitch, locked her right up, and fucking just walked the fuck away. You know what I mean? And get written. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fucking family, her family, whatever. Instead of this other shit that was happening. There was a lot of forgive, and there was a fucking whole bunch of shit. I think I cussed out a fucking
Right.
a news anchor
yeah.
for it, and she had to go on a blog. I was like, just showing how racist you are. Just showing how racist you
Right.
are with the fucking.
And
Every time a black person does something wrong and they end up getting killed by the police, the first thing they want to go to is, a past history of whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, look,
Put on trial.
everybody's always wanting to talk about reform.
Our murderers don't get put on trial. We the ones, the victims, that get put on trial.
Right, but everybody's always talking about
exactly.
reform. But they don't let black people reform. They don't let black people change their mind.
Exactly.
They're always going to be held to a level of crime if you've done anything for a matter to survive, whatever the fuck your reasonings was. You'll always be seen as that. Even in death, they'll find a way to shame you, even if you're not living that life no more. And I think
if they can't find no dirt on you, they try to find dirt on your family.
When it comes to the complexion for the protection for the complexion for the protection, and these motherfucking passes, there should be all kinds of motherfucking medieval justice going on. You know what I mean? Like right then and there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct on that.
It's a reality. We know, right? But we know, but we know what happens. So it's not a question. It's not. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. It's an active fucking thing. We know that's what happened. And instead, we got to drag it out 4 motherfucking years. White people got to get their motherfucking lawyers together. You got to get all the white little jury members. They got to pay their shit. They got to bribe. They got to politic amongst the back scenes of the fucking judicial system. Come up with a plea. Go to PC. It's fucking stupid. And so when it does, you seem to get like a cut off the top of justice. It's not satisfying. It's like, well, I guess it's all they're gonna give us, and it's just not satisfying. Where some medieval fucking, right then and there type justice would happen, then a lot of people would have been more satisfied.
Right.
Yeah, and then on top of it too.
Yeah, go ahead, Shabaka, and then we got to move on to the next topic.
Oh, yes, sir. And then the sad part about it, Lady Che, to reinforce more of what you're saying, is that all of us pay taxes, for this miscarriage of justice.
That's even worse.
You see what I mean?
So that's
the worst part about it.
You already paid 4 years of taxes for this fucking bunk ass trial.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And then just like that, we ought to be mad, angry customers. Like when you go into a store, hey, we want our money back.
Okay. But if we could get away with
that, yeah. So where's the Tim Scotts, the Barack Obamas, all the other coon ass politicians on that one? That hey, well, we paying our tax dollars and justice is not representing us, then hey, then we are due a huge refund
That's
refund.
part of the reparations package. About this, we need a tax-free
Oh,
exemption.
absolutely.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
forever,
absolutely.
as much tax as black people pay, it's ridiculous. And that's just not including the black tax. That's right there on
Right.
top. And then we're counting
How much?
And then also
taxes
too,
that we're
Right.
paying for fucking all
and
this bullshit
and,
just for them to take
and
accountability.
then
And yet they're not getting we're not seeing no real results because everything that happens is being taxed 100 different ways. I'm surprised anybody gets a paycheck anymore.
Yeah, we got to set that
yeah,
show up.
and then
The black tax,
uh
how much it costs to keep us
yeah,
in our current state.
and then man, motherfuckers who they need to have paying for this social media bullshit. Okay, they got the goddamn money. You know what I'm saying?
No,
They're
no, 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 no.
$1 trillion in
That's
the
not.
street.
Hold on, Shabaka. It costs like trillions of dollars to keep us in the state that we're in. That's what
But
Lady
not
Che is
Yeah,
referencing, the black tax. So
right,
basically, it's how much money
is
they
an expense.
spend every year to keep us in our current state.
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, it's because we do pay the cop salaries and all that old type of shit, and raggedy ass, half-ass
No,
judges and
that's
sorry ass
that's
politicians
not what
like
we're
the
talking about
panties
though. We're not
and
talking about the taxes that we pay. We're talking about how much it costs to keep us oppressed in the state that we in. So
oh
Yeah,
yes sir.
that's the black tax. The
the
black
amount of
tax
money that they
it
spend
costs a
every
lot of
year.
money to keep everybody in benign neglect and poverty.
Right.
In the
Hmm.
conditions that we're in. Forced incarceration, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? So I mean, it costs a lot of money, and yet they don't want to give up what they actually owe. They paid what they owed. They probably wouldn't have to pay so much debt.
Well, that would be bankrupt.
Right. And then
We
when we
couldn't pay.
listen to guys like Joe Gibson,
It'll be forever.
who
Might as well just go start
who
taking
puts
skyscrapers and buildings and shit. It's all yours anyway. Uh-huh.
yeah, and then Joe Gibson when he puts it up there on his intro to his tape, where he's got these white folks talking about that they don't care about slavery in the United States, that you want to sit up there and tell us about some fuck boys and all this other type of shit, and fuck that. And say that don't concern us. You see what I mean? That don't concern us. And
That's
and and
why,
and passing it on to the next generation, just like those before me that says, hey, we got to get rid of this boss we sick syndrome. See, that's all what that shit is.
yeah,
And then as Brother Che has stated with the Black First Agenda, period.
Right.
Say, period. And then when I go to vote here in Nevada, if I'm still here, above dirt, I'm voting, I'm writing in Jesse Paris for president. And all the other offices, I'm not going to concern myself with. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm taking my
I'm
job.
dead serious.
I'm taking my.
Because
I'm
that
taking my.
man,
That's what I
because
feel
you
like. I
all the
feel
way
like
the
that's
effort that
happening.
you,
Power's taken. It's not given. It's not. It's selection shit. It's for the birds. All this running around and pick me, pick me, pick me is fucking for the birds. You might as well just go run if you feel like it. You just run up and fucking kick a motherfucker out their seat and just take over. Or fuck it, why not? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You get arrested and held in contempt for court. For trying to fucking run the city.
well, I've been arrested behind election stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
They're
what
arrested
happened.
for
And
everything
then,
except the people that need to be arrested. White people can get away with a whole action, but let black people come up on
yeah, right.
protest about some
Okay,
serious
well,
shit. It ain't gonna happen.
and
yeah.
then to
So
prove your point even further, Lady Che,
well,
look
part.
at what happened, with the dump as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay, is that his ass should be incarcerated. He shouldn't even be out. He should be on his ass should be on there on a no bail hold. Okay.
In a perfect world,
You
but
see
this
what I'm
ain't it.
saying?
Yeah, in a perfect world, but this ain't it, Shabaka. So
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that.
To conclude this topic, Jackie Johnson needs to be held accountable for her actions. She was complicit in trying to cover up the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, and she needs to face the consequences for that. So we'll keep y'all updated on this coming trial and what the dates is on the trial and what the result is of the trial. We're moving along to Chi-Town. So, as we covered on previous episodes of the Front Line Blacc News in Season 3, Brandon Johnson, newly elected mayor of Chicago, was trying to put a migrant shelter in a predominantly black neighborhood, actually his neighborhood that he grew up in, called, on the west side of Chicago, called Amundsen, and they have a park, and the park over there is the community park, the neighborhood park, and that's where the young boys, they play their pee-wee football games there.
Oh yeah, for the football. Yeah, that's on the south side, brother. Check.
No, this is on the west side, Shabaka. This Amundsen Park is on the west side of Chicago. But anyway, the residents, they had enough of that shit, and they basically told Johnson that he couldn't do it, and they filed a lawsuit against him. So now they're suing the city of Chicago for basically violating their civil and human rights. So
we're
gonna play the press conference from the Black Chicagoans that are rightfully upset, and telling the Democratic Party, we're gonna turn Illinois red if y'all keep this madness. Goddamn migrants.
Well, yeah. If Illinois goes red, man, you know that day would be incredible.
I mean, Chicago leading the way right now for the cancellation of fucking sanctuary cities right now. They're leading of the conversation, you know, which is a very good thing.
Good.
Yep.
Real good.
Good
morning, everyone. I'd like to start off to thank the crowd that we had on October 3rd. Without them, we wouldn't have been here. For their support they have given us, and we're glad to have a park back open. But I would like to also say the city did a really terrible job of handling this. They held our community and our park hostage for almost 60 days. We couldn't use the park, our kids couldn't use it, our seniors couldn't use it, and they could have been more transparent. Hopefully in the future, they will include instead of exclude people. Because as we see here today, when the community sticks together, anything is possible.
Yes.
So we weren't going to be deterred. We're here to stay. We wish the migrants well, but as I said previously, not on our backs.
That's right.
Our lives should not be impeded by someone else. So that's all I have to say. We have other good speakers here and community people, and we will give you our opinions. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gerald Harris, GeraldHarris. I'm the president of the Windy City Dolphins 29-year program for youth football and cheerleading. Our program was stopped. It was interrupted. Our kids weren't able to use the park for some tutoring because we're trying to keep them not downtown, breaking in to windows and cars and houses. And when we shut this down, we shut our kids down. We want to thank whoever, and which was really our kids and other players who are 30 years, 40 years old that came back and fought like heck to make sure this park stay in the community. This is a community park. We did not look at the community first. That is very important. We have a very good community. We have elderly in the community. We have youth in the community to keep everything going well. We appreciate that it's finally there, but things are not over yet. We don't know exactly what's really going to go on. We were told everything was cool before. So we will be on watch, and our children will be out there watching as well.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Linda Johnson, and I represent the seniors that are here for the Amundsen Park. And we want to say today, we're going to thank, we are grateful. Thank you for the prayer warriors that stood in the back and prayed for this situation. Thank you for our attorney that amended our stay, that she worked hard. We appreciate Deidre for doing that. I am grateful for that, because those are the reasons that our park was not open, because we had that temporary stay. So we appreciate her very much. Also, I want to thank the mayor for reconsidering not taking our park, because taking our park from our community means that you take our resources where we pay our tax dollars to, and that was not right. You can see this park is in the heart of a community with bungalows, 2 flats, and we don't have that much resources already. And then our senior program had to stop. Some of the seniors had to go to different places. They wind up doing a lot of activities at home. Am I right, Janet? And so my thing is, the seniors wind up feeling like they was in a pandemic all over again. And that was not fair to them at all. And so then our children had no place. We couldn't do anything for Thanksgiving. Hopefully we can throw something together for Christmas. I don't know. But we'll be working on that, because this park serves kids during Christmas time. Also, we really need to see a letter saying that this park is not going to be utilized for shelter. We're taking them at their word, but we also had this happen to us once before, that they was not going to use our park, and then they turned around and said that was not true. So we want to make sure that this park was not
positive, right?
And understand this. We are not against someone that cannot help themselves. But my thing is, if you're going to spend this money, and let me tell you something, you wasted a lot of money. We got our eyes on you. You wasted a lot of money trying to organize this situation. We still have people that live in the city. We still have people living in the city on Roosevelt Road. So if you could pull this together, the churches could come together and take care of these migrants, why don't you take care of who's at home right now? To understand this, you got folks here that need your assistance. And if you're going to assist these, we have no problem with it. But do not forget about our people. The Bible said charity begins at home, then spreads abroad. But I'm looking at all these resources going out the window for somebody else, but yet our people are lacking. So we got our eyes on you. We want you to take care of what's going on in our city and take care of those that are at need. That's my point for today.
Right on, sister. See, the elders are starting to talk like us.
Okay, my name is
absolutely.
Residents in the Millwood area. My name is spelled
I gotta come right back in.
Collins, Collins, and I just want to say thank you for letting us have our park back. We should have never been told that we didn't have an option. We are taxpayers. We're still being charged for servicing the park. So we should be able to utilize the park. Our kids have been missing out for the last 60 days. And they're asking, when are we going to be allowed to come back? Well, now we're here. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And that's a good thing that they're doing.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to say that, it's hard to get excited about the news, because we had news like this before, only to have it turned around and thrown back in our faces. And we're living in a time that the truth is very unpopular right now. And people have taken advantage of that. So we're looking forward till Monday when the park is officially open. But we live now that we only believe what you show us. What you tell us is not relevant. Because people tell you what you need to hear. And we believe what you show us. So that's what my stand right now. It's hard for me to be excited and happy about the park possibly opening until it's open, until I can walk through those doors, sit down at the weight bench, and do my regimen. I won't believe it until it happens, because we've seen that movie already.
Yep.
And we didn't like the outcome of it. We heard it before. So our elected officials and our city governments have to be a little bit more transparent, actually a lot more transparent than they have been in the past. And we know how the city of Chicago works. We understand how it works. But we are at a place right now where we only believe what you show us, not what you tell us. What you show us. Thank you for your time. Right now where we only believe what you.
Well, Chicago has certain traditions, folks. It was, after all, it was the home of Al Capone for many years.
Spelled C-A-T-A, last name T-R-U-S-S. It's a great day here in Austin. And we are happy to be standing here announcing that our park is opening. Mind you, our park should never have been closed.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that. And I want to say to the mayor, and I'm not as happy as everybody else is about what has happened here, because he's to blame for this.
Mm-hmm.
Transparency matters.
Yes.
The voices of the people matter.
Yes.
The mayor still has not come here and talked to the people here. That's a problem. It was a problem in the beginning, and it's a problem now.
Yes.
The mayor still has not put the needs of the residents of Austin on the front burner. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problems that we had that were plaguing Black residents in this city are still a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor, the governor, and the president are spending time and millions of dollars addressing the needs of the migrants. What about the needs of the Black citizens of the city of Chicago who are still suffering, who still need help, who still need a hand up, who are still looking for affordable housing? That's still an issue. And we're not going to accept the fact that because you've given us our park, that's all we need. We have other needs that need to be addressed. And so we will continue to fight to make sure that our voices are heard.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
sister.
Well, she's got a point on that, and keep in mind is that Chicago was discovered by a Black man.
Jackson Road,
Yep.
STEPHENIE, Jackson, JACKSON -ROWE. I'm a resident of Galewood community for 27 years, and my children have been part of Amundsen Park as we all have. This is, as everyone has stated, a good day. We might have won this battle, but we're still fighting the war. And when I say we're fighting the war, I mean that we have issues. The same thing that happened here at Amundsen Park is still happening throughout Chicagoland and throughout the country.
That's right.
The big thing for us right now is 1900 Austin. There's another building in our community that has been considered and is on hold. Okay, it's off the table. Okay, because yesterday it wasn't off the table. Today it is. Amen. So what that being said, even if it's off the table, I think it's been reiterated that we need something concrete and in writing. But this community won't stop here. I have what they call a fitness ministry program that we've operated, and we want to continue to operate it at the Chicago parks throughout the city. Amundsen Park is one of the locations we're looking to bring our gospel aerobics ministry program to serve not only obese, for children and adults. So this is a big win, not only for Austin, but for our community. Okay, I think we're done.
Look, let me thank the media. We do not want to not thank you. We thank you because you all help us to get our message out, and we want you to know that we appreciate you. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Glover, Glover, first name Jennifer. I want to thank the media for coming out because we are very glad that you supported us and gave us airtime. And we really appreciate it because we couldn't have done it without you neither. And thank you very much, every channel. Thank you.
Okay, if I may say, is that as we all know, Chicago was discovered by a black man by the name of Jean-Baptiste de Sable. Okay, we should be running everything in the city of Chicago.
Right.
Okay, particularly over there on the south side and on the west side. Okay, because a lot of our major black businesses and publications that started in Chicago as well too. Also too, there was a more of a cohesiveness within the black community in Chicago because it's a very, very polarized city. So that Negro they got there as mayor of Chicago, they need to launch a recall on his ass as in a month ago to get him the fuck up out of there.
Right.
Straight out. Get him the fuck up out of there. Is because these bastards are more worried about these damn migrant motherfuckers who do not give a fuck about us, who hate us and despise us. Just like as Dr. Claude Anderson said, Brother Che, that you had brought to my attention that he had said 10 years ago that these migrants are the new Ku Klux Klan. Okay, these Brandon Johnson, these Karen Bassett, okay, these what's that trick's name in New York, Eric Adams. You see what I mean? These clowns are a detriment to the black community.
Right, I agree.
What's Dr. Phil talking about? Yeah,
so the press conference I just played, he's gonna give us a rundown on it. So yeah, these elders, shout out to the elders in Austin, the neighborhood of Austin and west side of Chicago, for standing up against this madness that the Democrats are trying to push on them and taking a stand. So we stand in solidarity with them. Enough is enough of this shit. Like the sister said, charity starts at home. If you can't take care of your own citizens, your own residents, your own constituents that voted you into office, then you need to go. So I hope them and others in the city of Chicago recall goddamn Brandon Johnson because he needs to go. He's doing nothing to benefit the black Chicagoans whatsoever. He want to prioritize everybody over them, and especially non-citizens at that. So yeah, shout out to these seniors. You can tell they've been listening to the new black media, just based off their talking points and their stances on everything. So shout out to the new black media for waking up the masses of our people, even those that are in the older generation. They're starting to see the light. So Uncle Phil's just gonna give us a rundown on this.
All right.
On the press conference that I had just played.
Community in our park hostage for almost 60 days. We couldn't use the park, our kids couldn't use it, our seniors couldn't use it, and they could be more transparent. Hopefully in the future, they will include instead of exclude people.
About something, and they could get, their field house protected and not having Brandon Johnson do whatever he wants. Now, some people may say it's a field house. What's the big deal? If you let him take the field house, then he's going to take your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And the Democrats are all giving the resources. Because you understand, for me, it all centers back to the Democrat Party. Yep. The migrants aren't giving anything to themselves. They're saying, hey, we want it, and they'll take it, right? But it's the Democrats that has incentivized people to leave their homeland to come up here to America because they're going to get free stuff. Even the immigrants in Brighton Park who are Asian, who are Hispanic, they don't even want them there. Yep. Okay? Now, the sister at the end, Carter Truss. I'm glad that sister spoke, because just the other day, I logged into my personal Facebook, and she ended up sending me a friend request saying, oh, shoot, I've been trying to get in contact with this sister, right? So, I then put up on the screen, because the only reason I put up the communication on the screen, because something she said is why we do what we do. Let's put this up. So I made sure to block her middle initial, only allow what go up what she talk about on the media, her first and last name. So when she sent me the friend request, I immediately responded to her because I've been looking to talk to her, and you can see her. I said, hi, Carter. I'm glad you reached out. So we would like to come to Chicago after the holidays, do an interview with you about the migrant crisis. Do you have an email address? That way, I block that out as her personal information. But this is what I actually wanted to point out to y'all at the bottom. She said, listen, thank you, my brother, for keeping Chicago's migrant crisis on the forefront. It says, because of you that the message is getting out, educating Black people is the only way to inspire people to move forward. Now, of course, it was not just me. It's the community in Chicago. It's many people, on social media that has been talking about this issue. We all collectively, fighting together, so I don't want to say it's because of me. No, it's not because of me. We all unify and do things as one community, right? But when I tell y'all the importance of what we're doing, and because listen, I don't even live in Chicago. I don't. But yet I say these are my brothers and sisters, and we got to speak up our brothers and sisters about what's going on, because we know what these people, the Democrats, what they would do to our community. Enough is enough. Right. So this is why when I tell y'all that, hey, download the app and get a membership on the app. We're trying to get our 10,000 members on that app. Is that not only help us be independent, but also help us to go, do the things we need to do when we travel, etc. Right? And get the interviews that we need to get in real time. We will go to Chicago. I'm thinking of probably you heard maybe like on a Zoom interview, probably prior to that, just so we can get some, story beforehand. But we have to watch out what's happening for our community. That's right. We have to. See, they love when we're acting like degenerates, especially Democrats. The Democrats run Hollywood. The Democrats run the music industry, right? Yeah. So they always want to have us acting a fool. They always want us to be out here like sexy red and all that, right? But what scares them is what that unity looks like. It scares them because every time we unify, we get something done. That's the history of Black America. Now, of course, Mayor Brandon Johnson, I know he's not happy about this. He's not happy because he said, shoot, black folks got on code. And what else they gonna get on code about? Because, Brandon Johnson, he's working for the Democrats. Well, Brandon Johnson, he done did it again, ladies and gentlemen. He done did it again. So Brandon Johnson, I just want to show you a clip, before we really get into this. He partnered with the churches, which I have no problem with him partnering with churches. Them churches should be doing more than what they do, right? These churches, a lot of times, are just entertainment places. That's it. They're supposed to be taking sick and shut in, and the homeless and all kind of other things, right? Well, I want you to listen to Brandon Johnson in this clip, and I want you to pay attention to the preacher. Those of you from Chicago that may recognize the preacher, because I have some questions. But let's go ahead and roll this clip because, I just have a few things to talk about.
Initiative will prioritize getting pregnant women, children, and all of those sleeping outside of police stations or on the floors into temporary housing as quickly as possible through churches all over the city of Chicago.
Funded by $350,000 in private donations, the partnership will initially involve 17 churches, housing up to 20 migrants each. The migrants will live at the churches and be provided food, medical care, and social services, and eventually employment.
We're prepared to receive the migrants compassionately, provide clean, warm shelter.
Oh my God, this one of them poor child preachers right here. As they say, his name is.
Oh Lord, Reverend Hambone for real.
Reverend Michael Addy. Oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was one. Remember a couple episodes back, Shabaka, they had the NAACP and all these pastors trying to pacify the Black Chicagoans into accepting the migrants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was one of them.
Well, fuck him, man. And what we're gonna start doing, Brother Chad Shabaka's Black Experience in Hand, probably after the first of the year, sir, is that we're gonna start putting a lot of heat on these sellout ass black pastors, these no good ass black ass politicians, and we're gonna be turning the heat up on them in 2024 because it isn't an election yet. So we're letting it be known. So therefore, people, get your insults and your hate mail ready in our chat room. We'll be open for our hate mail. We'll be more than happy to read the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? It's because something is wrong. And what I mean by something is wrong is that when I look at all these black-ass politicians, from Uncle Tom Bradley to this clown right here, Eric Adams,
I'll be right back. Just
London
I
Bridge.
gotta go find a aspirin so that my heart hurts. Be right back.
Okay.
Be right back.
Okay.
On mute for a minute.
Brandon Johnson too. Karen Bass.
All these sir, all these no good motherfuckers, man, and I'm making it plain. I'm straight making it plain. This is why we are looked upon as a joke, because we elect black officials and they go out there and work for everybody else except us.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I mean, I just had to get that out.
Provide clean, warm shelter, prepared meals, humanitarian services.
Responded to criticism from residents of Brighton Park, who say there's been a lack of transparency about plans to build a huge migrant camp on an empty lot.
We're not going to break away from our value system because right-wing extremism is sowing seeds of discord in this city.
He's talking about the Democrats' value system.
Yeah.
See, this
I mean, man, and I hate to have to say this. I can't even see how this brain dead nigga could sit up there and say some shit like this, man.
Because he's a yes, boss.
Yeah. That syndrome is bad. Boss, we sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the minister told us about this here over 60 years ago, and this shit is still here 3 generations later.
Yep.
3 generations later.
I know, it's sad. But this is what
it's very sad. And then what happens too, Brother Che, when the rest of the world see how people doing shit like this, this is why they lose and hate us. You know? That's why they lose regard for us. But they hate us because they cannot beat us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you see how much money they spending on this shit, right? So
yeah, man, that's what's pissing me off.
Uncle Phil gonna give us the rundown on this shit.
Money came from private donations to help spur this initiative with the churches. I don't take issue with the churches helping out with anything. I really don't, because that's what they're supposed to be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are tax-free.
Yep.
Now, you heard with this, they not only gonna get food and a shelter, but they're gonna get medical, which is fine with me, and they're gonna get help finding a job. Now, this is my problem. Why is it when the Chicago migrant crisis happened, now the churches all of a sudden want to open the doors? Once again, it goes back to Chicago back in October. When I told y'all this story before, me and my wife was leaving Gordano's out there, the one not far from Michigan Avenue. And we walked out and we had extra pizza in our hand because we couldn't eat all that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw someone curled up, looked like, you know, a young girl. And I said, man, I told my wife, I said, that's a young girl out here curled up in this weather.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, you know, we went and I said, I saw her and I said, hey, young sister, I said, you hungry? You need some food? And she had asked me, hey, is it meat on the pizza? And I mean, we both saw, you know, the sister, and she looked like our daughter, literally. She looked like her.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, there's no meat on there. He said, oh, okay, thank you. And then we end up going right down there to, they had a little shop with donuts, coffee, hot chocolate. So we got some, you know, sweets or whatever, and we made sure to get her like a big 20-ounce hot chocolate, the biggest one they had. And we came back out and said, hey, you know, you want to give you a hot chocolate? She was so happy about the hot chocolate, right? And I told y'all at that moment, I got so angry with Brandon Johnson because him and the Democrats, because it's not just him. I cannot just put it all on Brandon Johnson. Him and the Democrat Party have a anti-Black American policies for sure.
Yep.
But on top of that, anti-American policies, because they don't care about the American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if Brandon Johnson and the churches want to get every homeless person off the street,
they could do it.
I'm good with that. Chicago is cold.
Mm-hmm.
That is the windy city.
Yep.
Even if, like right now in the filming this video in Chicago, it is 47 degrees. That's cold. We're supposed to get down to 41 degrees tonight. I think around 40 at 1 a.m., right? That's cold. Then coming down the pipe, I'm looking at the weather on my phone. It's supposed to be in the 30s, low 30s, you know, coming up in the next few days. Nobody can really be on those streets like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cold. You can have bad things happen to you with that weather. But you say you're going to take 20 migrants, not 20 homeless people, migrants included, but 20 migrants. That's the problem people are having.
Mm-hmm.
You're prioritizing migrants and not doing it for everybody.
Right.
When Black folks ask for something specific for them, you say we got to do something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the migrants, you can easily do something specific for them.
Yep.
And that's very upsetting when the taxpayers of Chicago say, hey, we don't need our fellow Chicago residents on the streets.
Right.
Then, because people are upset about this, because people are saying, wait a minute, I need my taxes to go to programs and services for our community.
Right.
And Brandon Johnson, and he's been repeating this recently, has the nerve to say that the division in the city is coming from right-wing extremism. Where?
Right.
Where is it? Chicago is a Democrat city, up and down.
Yep.
What right-wing extremism? I didn't see no right-wingers marching when I was in Chicago. I didn't see no big Trump supporter rally in Chicago, even though they got the Trump Tower over there in Chicago. Real nice spot. Boy, that's a real nice spot. Trump got a good property there, especially off that waterway. I didn't see any of that. I seen a Palestine protest when I was there blocking all the streets and all of that. I seen that. But I did not see a bunch of Republicans out there acting a fool. When you say right-wing extremists, that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People acting a fool, people that's, you know, hardcore zealots for Trump. Because you got people that support Trump and you got zealots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about the zealots. What are you talking about, Brandon Johnson? So you mean to tell me that the Asian community in Chicago, it was right-wing extremists did that when they are upset about you trying to put a camp in Brighton Park where they live? What about the Hispanic? They had a person waving a Mexico flag. Did y'all see that? Waving a Mexico flag. And they Mexicans don't want the migrants in their area either. You know how some of them feel. They say, wait a minute, I came over here, they didn't give me nothing. They told me I had to get a job and provide for myself. How is it that they get to jump the line?
Mm-hmm.
How is it that they getting rent paid and all this, you know, sympathy? But when we came over here, we had to go work 18 hours to go provide for our kids. I mean, and like I said, That has nothing to do with Black America. But, you know, I'm just being like real about it. They got a point. How you gonna jump the line when they was already over here? I mean, if you gonna give them something, you gotta kind of give the people that's already here first, right? You can't let the people, the new arrivals, jump the line. So the way Biden is even doing it, even among the immigrants, he's causing dissension there. So he can't. Brandon Johnson just can't say right-wing extremists. No, sir, because right-wingers do not run Chicago. You do. So how is it right-wing extremism? You are handling the crisis, and you're doing it badly because you are prioritizing migrants over the people that voted you into office, sir. Yep. That's your problem. You're taking resources from communities that pay their bills, pay their taxes, and giving it to migrants. What happened to that Walmart they closed down? That big, huge Walmart in Chicago they closed down. Why couldn't y'all take that Walmart that they shut down, Walmart left, and put the migrants over there? Y'all could have made that a big shelter, right? Nobody would have had a problem with that. I know y'all got some abandoned stores or whatever in Chicago somewhere, and you can convert that to shelters. But when you start taking people's things away, yeah, they're going to have an issue and problem with that. And see, Black people in America as a whole are tired of the Democrat Party and what they're doing. What they do in Chicago, what they're doing in New York, what they're doing everywhere. They expect us, after trying to take resources from us, to come out there and vote Democrat. Vote blue no matter who. That mantra y'all said, vote blue no matter who, was the dumbest thing ever.
Right.
Black America is saying this: I'm tired of y'all taking resources away from me. What about our kids?
Right.
Now, mind you, I have to side with Brandon Johnson on this because I actually got to see it. Should babies be on the streets in the cold? No.
Shit's crazy.
Should pregnant women be on the streets cold and all that? No. But this is what I'm going to say on the flip side. In your homeland, it don't get that cold.
Right.
You remember I covered the podcast where the dude said that he'd rather go back to his homeland and be on the street in his homeland than be here in Chicago?
Yep.
Because it's way too cold. It don't get cold like that in Latin America. Especially in Venezuela. It don't get that cold. So what's going to curb the crisis for Chicago is the weather. Because that windy city, if you're not used to that, that is something. That wind chill factor and how that wind cut right through you. You don't have to snow in Chicago for it to get you.
Right.
But this is a policy of the Biden administration, open borders. And so when people say, well, you get what you vote for, of course, you didn't vote for open borders. I understand that. You didn't vote for the Democrats to be taking your resources away from your community. I know you didn't vote for that, but they say you get what you vote for because they were pretty loud about their open border policies. They didn't bait and switch you. They're very loud about it. Like they're very loud about LGBT and everything else they're loud about, right? The Biden administration has prioritized everyone else outside of Black America.
Yep.
You remember he signed the Asian hate crime bill. That was right after he got into office.
Yep.
He signed that.
Right after, like
that was one of the biggest punches in the face to the Black man and woman of America who need a hate crime bill. He lied and said he'd have our back. He lied. This man gave so much money to Ukraine and still giving money. Somebody just said the other day, Zelensky just bought a new yacht. I'm pretty sure he did. Off of American taxpayer money. I believe it. The Ukrainians are being flown into here quietly and being put into the white communities and given the Social Security funds. Social Security. They didn't work for Social Security.
Right.
You see, this is what we talk about reparations. They can know how to find money in the millions. We just covered the other day when Biden talking about committing about $1 billion or so to all these other countries in Latin America, and even giving money to the Venezuelans, giving money to the migrants here. Everybody gets money. No study, no act of Congress, no law sign. We talk about reparations. Well, you know, it's going to be hard because the Democrats and the Republicans going to have to get on that. But, you know, you have to vote more Democrats in, because at least with Democrats, you have more of a chance of getting reparations, right? But when it's time to spend money, nobody gets to study. Nobody has to vote somebody in. Matter of fact, these other groups don't even have to vote. The Asian community in this country has never voted in the level Black people have voted. But we are the only group that they can use historical references, ancestry, and shaming tactics. Because think about it. With Black America, when you say, you know what, you benign neglect me, I'm benign neglect you on election day. Don't worry about it. We good. We try again in the next 2 to 4 years. Once you give me something, then I'll show up. Well, you're wrong, because your ancestors died for you to vote. They can't tell that to Hispanics. They can't tell that to Asians. They can't tell that to whites for sure. They can't tell that to Arabs. They can't tell that to no other group. So when they come to these groups, they can't guilt them saying your ancestors died. They can't use photos from the 1960s to pull on their heartstrings, because that's our people, right? They have to come to them and say, okay, this is what we're going to do for you to get your vote. You understand? So it forces them to give tangibles to these other groups. With us, they don't have to give a tangible, because we still allow them to play on the heartstrings and say, get out there and vote because your ancestors, they'll feel bad. They'll turn over in their grave. Everything they'll say, our ancestors. Do not allow the weaponization of our ancestors to get you to go out there and vote for Biden and them. You don't go out there and vote for nothing.
Right.
At this point, voting for Biden and them, when we know we're not going to get nothing out the deal, I look at that as they pulling a scam.
Yep.
Because at least other groups, when they go vote, they get something. Right? Think about it. If you gave your money to somebody for a good or a service, and they never gave it to you and scammed you out your money, there's at least laws on the books where you can get your money back or even get them criminally prosecuted for scamming you. Now, of course, we don't give money unless we choose to, but they get our vote and don't do nothing. Or is you somebody say, okay, give me some money and I'm going to invest it into this for you, but they take your money and then they go splurge it somewhere else, or they give it to other people, right? That can even get a person in trouble when it comes to money, because that's scamming, right? The Democrat Party has scammed Black America for over half a century. They say they are a friend. They say they're going to do certain things. They never get it done. Never. They even rather want to promise Black people anything. Because you remember that letter that came out from the WikiLeaks during the 2016 campaign, when they told Hillary Clinton, do not promise them anything. Tell them we hear you, we understand, but do not promise them anything. Now, what's the strategy of not promising Black people anything? Because let's say if Biden say, okay, if you elect me, you getting reparations. So if he don't do reparations, then now that's going to galvanize the community to get him out. So if they don't promise you anything, then they can't say, well, you know, they could worm their way because you didn't stick them. That's why you got to make a politician put a concrete policy and make them promise what they're going to do. So you can hold them to it. See, other groups, they say, yeah, we're going to do some this and that and the third for y'all. And, you know, we're going to do this in foreign politics. All these other groups are connected to foreign countries at the same time. So not only these people want something here, they want the United States to treat their homeland favorably. And they do that. Recently, the Muslim community has came out and said they're not voting for Biden. They're not doing it. When Black America say we're not voting for the Democrats, we're shamed. We're called derogatory names by our own people who are Democrat shields. The mainstream media don't sit up there and talk down to the Muslim American community because they said they didn't like the way Biden handled the situation with Israel and Hamas. They're pissed. So they say they cannot vote for Biden. They're not shaming them. They're not sending Muslims to shame them to vote for Biden.
Nope.
They're all on code about that.
Right.
But let us say something. We're told to vote anyway. We're told our ancestors died to vote. We're shaming our ancestors. Like they'll turn over in their grave. Y'all don't get out there and vote. Don't let the Democrats play that game in this election season.
Right.
Brandon Johnson, he's only following the playbook. And like I'm gonna say this again about people in Chicago. It was not a Lori Lightfoot problem. It's not a Brandon Johnson problem. Y'all have a Democrat problem. Because y'all can get Brandon Johnson out of there when his term is up. Y'all can recall him and get him out, whatever. If you put another Democrat in office in Chicago, you're going to get the same thing. A different face with the same game.
Yep. Same shit. Yep.
Maybe the other Democrat tweak it a little bit so y'all won't be so upset with him or her, but you're going to get the same thing. The Democrat Party is pretty clear what they stand for. And when it comes to Black America, they don't stand with us like that. That's not what they do. And that's okay. That's okay. Because when it comes to politics and politicians, you have to make them do something. They're not going to do it unless you make them. And just as much as our brothers and sisters stood together and firmly about their field house, that's how we got to stand together about the Democrat Party at this stage of the game.
Right.
Because Biden's not promising anything. What's the point? Biden. I really believe Biden believes he's gonna lose at this point.
Yep.
Because Biden, if you pay attention to him, he's not really campaigning. He's not doing rallies. He's not doing anything.
Nope.
He's not. I think in his mind, say, look, I'm probably gonna lose anyway, so let me go full throttle on this open border agenda that we have in the Democrats before I get out of office. That's what it is. Because who's really going to go out there and vote for Biden like that? Everybody's upset with Biden right now. It's not just Black America. Right. You even got, what's interesting to me, you got Asians upset with Biden. Like, why? He gave y'all an anti-Asian bill, hate crime bill. Why are you mad at him? Right. If Biden would have gave that to us, Biden would win very easily. Because we'd all, listen, if Biden gave an anti-Black hate crime bill when he first got in office, I would go vote for Biden. I say, okay, man, Biden got us some protection for it. Okay, I'm cool with it. If Biden was papering up the Black America like that, on top of giving that, I'd be like, yeah, I got to support Biden on this one because, he's trying to take care of Black America. But that man's not trying to do anything. He's a believe in tokenism and symbolism. That's it. That's as much as we going to get. Ketanji Brown Jackson, they talk about some Black federal judges. Symbolism. But that's it. Black men don't get anything at all except talk down to. Now, I see that they're kind of teetering a little bit on Black men. Like, because last election cycle, they were really insulting Black men. They've been doing this a little bit, but not as hardcore because they're scared what's going on with Black men. And they should be. Because you sat up there and your strategy was to disrespect Black men. And Black men have had enough. You've had enough. And now Black men are taking the stand. It's like, no, you benign neglect us, we benign neglect you. It's just that simple. And y'all know we're going to benign neglect you. Because you're not willing to give anything to Black men. And when I say Black men, I mean Black people. Right. I'm not like Cocktails of Queens when Ice Cube went on there talking about the contract of Black America. No, well, what is specifically for Black women? He's like, well, isn't Black women part of Black people? Right. We don't play that game. We don't play that game. We mean something for Black men to mean so we can provide for our families. We can provide for our children. That's what we mean when we say Black people. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. When we say Black men specifically, we're not talking about just something for us and then our wives and our children won't get nothing out of it. No, we don't even think like that. But shout out to the people in Chicago for once again battling, taking it to court. Because as you notice, they also took it to court to get a stay on this. Yep. We're taking a field house. the residents of South Shore, they also took it to court. Black folks got to start taking these people to court.
That's right.
Because a lot of stuff they're doing is not even right. It's not even legal sometimes. So utilize lawyers and black lawyers. You got to step up.
Right.
You have to step up. You have to also fight the fight too. So it's like, where's our lawyers?
Right.
The only lawyer you see running around is Benjamin Crump, but he can't do it all.
Right.
Where's our black lawyers in each major city to fight these cases?
Right.
To say, no, you're not going to do this. We're going to file federal lawsuits, or we're going to file state suits, whatever we got to file, because you're not going to do these things. Black folks are the only people that don't utilize the courts for what we need to utilize them for. But y'all keep up the fight in Chicago. Like I said, I'm proud of y'all. You know, Brandon Johnson talking about people being right-wing extremists. That's just an excuse of his horrible handling of the migrant crisis. If he can't handle it, stop blaming other people, sir. You the mayor. You are.
Right.
It's an excuse. Why don't you take the time to go talk to your constituents? Find out what you can do.
Right.
Instead of tap dancing for the Democrats. But a lot of times you black politicians, you just sold out.
Yep.
And then you give nothing but excuses because you think about your political future instead of the future of your people.
That's right, Uncle Phil. Thank you. Shabaka, are you still there?
Yes, sir. And everything that Dr. Phil said right there is correct. Okay, yeah, he's right about that. And then we'll, you know, just like you said, man, we got to pull away from the Democratic Party, man, because see, you know, the days of them pimping us, man, is over. You see what I'm saying? Because they sold us down the toilet, man, in every election, at the presidential level, at the state executive level, on the congressional level, on the state legislature level. Same thing on the municipal level with the mayors throughout the various cities, and the same thing on the city councils. And Karen Bass is a classic example of what this man, Dr. Phil, is talking about. Yes, and Chicago, I hate to say, man, you know, that there is one of our stronghold cities that was discovered by a black man. They say, but you're going to let all these damn migrants come up in here, you say, and don't get no damn tangibles for us and no fucking reparations, man. And not only is it wrong, it is an act wrong within itself.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my thoughts on that one right there, sir.
All right, thank you, Shabaka. What are your thoughts, Lady Che?
I think that, you know, let's say that's something tangible for you. You need to hold your vote. We've been stressing that for a while. And I said a few months back that there wasn't anything to vote for on either side. And sit it out. Hold your vote. Hold your vote. You know what I mean? And, you know, they're not asking black people what they think. And they should be scared. Black men, you know, they should be scared that black men won't show up. And black women should stand with the men and not show up to the polls. I mean, they're doing all this shit. They're not even remotely concerned with our needs. Our needs, our basic fucking needs, let alone cutting the check or anything in regards to that. They're not even telling all the truths, you know, to everything. It's just like 10% of fucking actual media news or whatever, and we're supposed to go off of that or whatever the fuck they say, and the rest is hidden behind fucking Bloomberg or something else. You know what I mean? So I really got to dig deep to really fucking look for some shit. And I think it's just a flex. I think that of course Biden he never looked like he was trying to campaign. He looked lazy like a motherfucker. He looked sleepy. He looked high. He looked like he's gonna fall out anytime. He just looked like he just needs to sit down somewhere. Now they take the border thing seriously. I mean, what the fuck happened the other last couple of years? You know what I mean? Like, shit has been a major crisis. You couldn't even find the vice president. So now you want to take it seriously? He's giving all this money away to everywhere, and yet, no, he's not taking care of the people that live here on the soil. He's just doing the most. So I would say that there's no real good candidate on either side. We've seen both examples of Trump and Biden. Neither one, one may have good points, the other one didn't. Doesn't even fucking matter. We just already know. And so sit it out, man. I've been on strike, so I was advocating for Black vacation for a while. Like, there's no need to go to the vote. There's no need to go to the polls. We got a whole year of listening to pointing fingers, blaming, saying fucking crazy shit to each other on the fucking debates, which is all humorous to us, but at the end of the day, other people that are concerned about that is the people that are actively going to vote. It's really when we watch it, it's mostly for the sake of amusement and trying to compare notes. You know what I mean? It's not really getting us anywhere as far as what we're looking for. They're not speaking our language, not even remotely close, and we just sit it out. Fuck it. I said sit it out. That's pretty much what I gotta say about that.
All right, and my thoughts are shout out once again to the Black Chicagoans, the FBA especially, Black Chicagoans that stopped Brandon Johnson from turning their community park into a migrant shelter.
Right.
And it's a damn shame they had to take his ass to court, had to sue the city of Chicago to get a stay on it.
Yeah, that's really bad. And the sad part about it is, Chicago is one of our stronghold cities, as Black people. You see what I'm saying? And it was discovered by a Black man, as we already know. And for this ass-scratching, brain-dead, oh, man, it's just sickening, man, of how these Black-ass politicians, man, have regressed, you see, when it comes to our self-interest. You see what I'm saying? They want to go out there, man, and be for everybody else, except for their own people. And then the cold part about it is that these other groups go out there and they laugh at these stupid, dumbass, black-ass motherfucking Uncle Toms. You see what I'm saying? And I got to say that from crying. You see what I mean? And then like I said, if Chicago was one of the cities, just like Detroit and Cleveland, of where our people migrated to from the South, my family included, you see what I'm saying, to get jobs and to escape the Jim Crow South. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So in a way,
I said, how the hell we migrants and we just moved from one part of our country that we built to the other? How the hell are we migrants? And then they said, oh, we got help.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't get no goddamn help.
No, you didn't get no damn help.
Grandparents, they scratched out whatever little cents money they had and went north.
Exactly. Looking for a quote unquote better life. But what happens is when they hit Cleveland and Detroit, Chicago, and Buffalo, New York, all the unions, didn't allow Black men to work for them. Your plumbers union. Your plumbers union, your carpenters union, your ironworks union, your auto workers union, mainly for those in Detroit. Those in Chicago, mainly the bricklayers or the masonaries, because, all the houses in Chicago are built out of brick because they changed the city ordinance on that in the 1860s when Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked over the lantern and you had the Great Chicago Fire. You see what I mean? So that's why all the buildings there are built out of brick, mainly the residences. You see what I mean? And, and we go up there, man, spill our blood in wars for this country. So this is why we appreciate the heavyweight champion of refusing induction in 1967. Then not to mention how the educational systems is systemically fucked up there, just like our colleagues over there in Milwaukee say with outlaws, with the educational systems in Milwaukee, Cleveland, Los Angeles, Denver, Colorado, Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? Oakland, California, San Francisco. You know, because they're coming up here with all this alphabetized agenda bullshit, as opposed to teaching our young men to be men and to stand up for the communities and build the communities to make them self-sufficient. All these other groups do this. How come we can't? Now, so for all you bums out there with your hate mail, be sure to hit us with it. You know, we're very, very interested in laughing at your ignorance and what have you. But however, we do expect those that come up with intelligent conversation and reasoning. But all you OTBs out there, man, you all got to go hold your own nuts, man.
Period.
Yeah, and OTBs means other than black. We can't do it for you no more. We cannot take for you motherfuckers no more. We cannot do it. It's because our very fucking existence as black people here in the United States of America is in jeopardy. And particularly with that sick ass institution out there called Hollywood, sexy red and all that old type of shit. You know?
Yeah. You get no argument from me, Shabaka. So I'm gonna move us along because Mr. Sandman's starting to creep in on me.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, man.
I actually have to go because I gotta go get ready for the doctors tomorrow.
Right. Okay, and then whatever topic, and then Brother Che, whatever topic.
Lady Che, before you go, what are your thoughts on what we just went over?
I gave it to you, man.
Oh, okay. All right, so the next topic is T.I. and his son get into a fight at the Falcons game.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's sad.
Before you go,
okay.
Huh?
I said I have to tap out, and I might tap in over there.
Oh, okay.
My heart hurts. I gotta get ready for. Like I said, I gotta get ready for tomorrow.
Okay, babe. So before you go, what are your thoughts on the T.I. and his son incident?
I feel like the mother shouldn't embarrass him. Yeah, he might have been a little too hyped up at the game, but isn't everybody? I think that from watching him kind of like them do those reality shows, you know, he hardly was ever there. And, you know, he gets like the shit end of the stick, you know what I mean? When it comes to the way he looks, you know, just the fact that, you know, he holds people to their word and they don't really come through for him. He gets upset, you know, he's kind of not really emotional, but he likes to put it on blast, you know, and yeah, you know, he might have some different ideas or different thoughts for how he perceived his upbringing versus what they're talking about. I mean, perception is everything. Of course, they're the parents, but they shouldn't have embarrassed him. Like his mother shouldn't have embarrassed him like that. Like she's really wanted to talk. Say Lee, the father, well, regardless, he's you know, regardless of what happened, whether he's trying to wrangle him in or telling him he was embarrassing himself or the family or whatever, you can see in the kid's face he was serious about what he was talking about, and it wasn't a game to him. You know what I mean? So whatever he was talking about, it was real to him, and that was his moment. That was his truth versus whatever everybody else is gonna say. Because you keep in mind, these are all celebrities. They've been in our face for like what 2 decades, something like that. So gotta pivot out of shit.
Yeah, going on 3.
Like, yeah, people be like, well, you know, he's just a kid. He's just gonna say whatever. But his face and body language said it all. To me, I seen it as very serious. Like he was very upset about what the fuck he was talking about, and that he, you know, regardless of how he put it, it looked like he was done being offended or talked at or talked to like that. And when you know a father and mother put their hands on him just to wrangle him in, yeah, it might have got I mean, you got to think he's like what 17, 18 years old. So he's trying to be a man. So You think of another man trying to put hands or grab you up, you're gonna be like, yeah, get the fuck up off me. You know, I mean, I do that too. You know, so and I'm a grown ass woman, so you know, you gotta see, like, look at it from his perspective. He's kind of all by himself. He don't have
Yeah.
nobody like, you know, have his back or, you know, co-sign for his shit or anything he says. I mean, whereas T.I., Tiny, and them, they got a whole bunch of motherfuckers that'll co-sign and be like, that ain't not the T.I. I know, you hear me? Or his son wilding out or
Before the
whatever.
fight came in, because the son was fucking T.I. like, you're not that dude no more. And
well, his son was basically just looking at it like, well, regardless of what was said, it felt like to me that his son was like, I see you, I know you without the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you're not that. You're like it. And even if he felt like it was just him, and it felt like it was just him and T.I. having a real argument, not him and everybody else. You know what I mean? And they shamed him, they embarrassed him, and of course he's gonna feel kind of emotional. He's a young man. I was to say this too, like, you know, he really wasn't all that like present in all those, you know, little reality TV programs. They had like 2 or 3 of them. He wasn't really all that present, and when he was present, he wasn't really like a pleasant, you know, fixture in the house. Kind of moody. So I would just say that he's one of those type of kids you don't want to play with all the time. He's probably too serious, or you know, he's not the one to play little, you know, games with. Like, he doesn't look like it. Not that he's like too gangster, that he just looks like he's just too serious, and he don't like, you know, being toyed or talked to crazy. And I think that when he put his hands on him and he wanted to tussle out of it, I don't think that anybody was really trying to pull them apart. They kind of just let T.I., you know, like, you know, I had a father too, but you know, you try to get buck with him, you know, you try to wrestle you down too, like, hey, you were gonna do that. Well, it depends. Some people are just not gonna want to be dealt with like that anymore. And you see, like, he's always getting fucked with. That kid is always getting fucked with. He's always getting shamed in the media. He's always getting laughed at. He's always getting picked on by either the way he looks, the how light he is, to his fucking mother's fucking features. You know what I mean? He's always getting fucked with, and he just probably had enough. You know what I mean? Whether he has money or not or whatever, I was like, maybe you just need to go ahead and get a couple of motherfuckers like around his age and go get an apartment and just do it on your own and get it from the mud, because they don't seem very supportive, especially when your own mother is gonna come put on camera whatever she's saying. And I think that, like, as far as the pacifying thing is, maybe that's just another way of saying they gave into him, or, you know, they placated to his wants and desires of fucking do whatever the fuck he wanted to, versus the actual fucking thing you give babies. Because goddamn, like, 12 years old is a lot to just put that shit in your mouth. You're not even supposed to suck your thumb after like 6 months, just because it make your teeth bad. So I doubt they were really that. And even if that was the case, you really got to look at them. They allowed that shit if that was the real case. I think it's more metaphoric. Like, you know, his grandma just let him get away with fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Let him just do whatever. Like when you say pacifying, you know what I mean? But if it was a case of a real life pacifier, I would blame the mother and father.
He really does. He really did have to. He really did. That's why he got an overbite and an underbite.
Either way, that's shit ass parenting right there. You need to look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're there disrespecting somebody who really, you know, you can take that shit out of his mouth. You can take that shit out of his head. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't even have it after like what, a year or something. Like a year is like pushing it. You hear
I think he has some health issues that where he had the pacifier much longer than, or the bottle much longer than he was supposed to.
That's a long motherfucking time. After like 2, there's really no fucking excuse. Like you got a juice cup. You know what I mean? Like you evolve to other things like juice cups. I mean, I can speak from personal experience of having a child or 2 in my lifetime. And first of all, those things are like, they fall on the floor, they fucking get hair on them, they're disgusting. So, my heart. I'm just saying, you gotta blame the parent. Regardless, 12 years old is a long fucking time to have anything in your mouth. I mean, give that motherfucker like a carrot or something else like celery. There's some other shit other than, because it's a real bad look for you as a parent.
Right.
You know what I mean? So while you over clowning them, you should really be worried about yourself. Because
Right.
that's an ugly ass look that you're not only saying family business outside, but you're shaming him, and then you're putting yourself out there to look like a fucking garbage ass, trash ass fucking parent that didn't give a damn and just let him fucking have a thing that's meant for brand new babies till like a year old. You never started him off of that, but he drinks fucking sodas and juice and shit in a regular glass. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with you? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that the little boy, he should just, if anything, he should just keep doing what he's doing and stay away from him. Just because they're not gonna vibe, because there's some they don't like each other. You really see it. They really don't like each other. They haven't liked each other in a long time, and he should just he's just trying to make his own way. He's not getting the respect that he thinks he's entitled to based on who his parents are or what whatever. And I was like, man, my advice is go make your own shit and fucking show them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but remember, he was like, I stand on business. I stand on business.
Probably on what he was talking about, like what he's saying, but I think that he can make his own way. I mean, I've seen many motherfuckers just say fuck it and leave and never go back home and just go make their own fucking life because their parents are just, they can't handle it. You know what I mean? They never seemed like you liked the old boy. I mean, they always kind of have some tension. This from the outside looking in. Even if he did standing on whatever he's talking about, that's who are we to say if that's true or not? You know what I mean? I mean, we barely see the little motherfucker anyway.
Right.
Lately, you haven't really seen him in a long time, except for when he's getting in everybody's ass about not standing on what they say or meaning what they mean, or you know what I mean, being there when they say they're gonna be there, or you know what I mean, having accountability, or what do you call it, integrity.
Yes.
So he's basically been holding motherfuckers accountable, and everybody's been kind of like shitting on him, and it didn't make it any worse. It didn't make it any better because people were straight talking about this that happened, but nobody talked about it from like the perspective of what it looked like on his end. I mean, he looked pretty fucking serious about whatever he was saying. I mean, maybe him saying I stand on business means I mean what I say.
Yeah.
I mean what I say. I said it. I meant it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I say that I meant it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's just what it is. Maybe that's what he means. I mean, we don't know because we're just spectators, and it's not a good look for the Black nuclear family. That's just put it that way. Very dysfunctional.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. There is 1, 2, 3 more topics after this.
Okay.
So we got Jonathan Majors begins his trial in New York City after numerous delays.
Right.
Eric Adams is now facing or about to have a sexual assault case. And then we got our Unhoused Neighbor News and Unhoused Neighbor Sweeps.
All right. Okay. Well, first place with Eric Adams is fuck Eric Adams. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that bastard falls.
I wanted Lady Trey's thoughts before she go, because
I'm just going to go switch over to the tablet.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll get to the TI part, and then just tap in when you get on the tablet.
Yeah, I gotta go over there for a minute, just for a minute. So I'll
right.
be right back.
So,
I'll be
like
right
I say on the TI situation. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna play for
Professor
Black Truth, Shabaka, because
let's hear Professor.
Professor had an awesome
because
take
Dan
on
Man is starting to work on all of us.
Yeah.
Let's
see.
Family and fellow soldiers. I'm the Professor, and this is the moment of truth. All right, we're talking about entertainment here, but only because I think that there's an object lesson that can be gleaned from some of this. So what's the story here? T.I. Harris and his family were at a Falcons game in the Skybox, no less. They were live streaming this family outing, and no, I'm not going to be showing the video because it was an embarrassment to watch.
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, the upshot is that T.I.'s son, King, who he had by a white woman, apparently was feeling that he wasn't being taken seriously. So instead of watching the game, he wanted to try to get some street cred in the Skybox at a football game. There may or may not have been alcohol involved. Okay, so he began yelling and arguing with someone that he didn't have a silver spoon in his mouth just because he was a rich kid. He said that he lived in the hood because he lived with his grandmother. And that was when the mother came on camera and said that the boy lived with his grandmother because he had been sucking a pacifier until he was age 12. On a side note, if you got a child who has a case of arrested development, aren't the parents supposed to step in to stop that kind of behavior? Anyway, his mother humiliated him, and the young man got indignant and loud, and T.I. apparently had to literally shake him to get him to calm down. They got into a physical altercation. I don't think any blows were struck, but still. This is the result of a young man from a well-to-do background who simply can't reconcile how the family makes their money with how he's supposed to be moving. Dad made his money as a gangster rapper. And the son apparently wants to prove that he's up to snuff as far as dad's concerned, because at the very least, his father's taken seriously. This is the problem of a child needing to grow up in a different shadow from his father. Even Ice Cube, who has made a disgrace of himself recently, he didn't have this kind of problem. His son has been trying to make it in Hollywood, just like Cube has been making those low-budget straight-to-video flicks. But then again, Cube's father made a lane for his son. No shade to T.I. necessarily, but this is the result of the young man not having it drilled into his head what his lane is supposed to be. He goes to school, hangs out with friends, and the shadow of his father's profession follows him there. Dad raps about the streets, and here his son is a suburban kid. Why isn't that good enough for him? Because the father reflects on the child. And dad's rapping about the streets, people will see his son living the opposite and give him a hard time about it. His street guy persona comes off as fake and phony, like those white suburban kids who try to act like they came from the hood. Why do they do that? It's because they all want to be taken seriously. The street dudes they see from the black areas of town are taken seriously simply because of how they carry themselves, who they are, and what people know that they will do. That's because they're living the street life, and that being the case, every day is a new battle, and you better be ready for it. But these white suburbanites, they see these guys as being connected to real life. Yes, they're also connected to real deaths too. But they don't care. These white suburbanites are wondering, how do they get people to take them seriously like that? So they imitate these other people, which is just as well, because it's either that or commit a mass shooting. But that's where this is coming from. The children of celebrities usually have big problems trying to find their identity. They don't really exist themselves. Whenever people talk about them, they get referred to as so-and-so's son or the child of such and such celebrity. They only exist as an extension of their famous parent. Their parent is who defines the entire family. But what happens when the parent's way of making or the surroundings they gave their children directly clashes with the path that the child is supposed to take in life? If this young man was being groomed to take control of the family business, not rapping in these, but whatever other income sources T.I. and his wife have been developing, then I don't think we'd be seeing this from him at all. And this isn't the first time that he's been in the news for getting loud and rowdy. Apparently, he actually threatened some worker at the Waffle House, something about a pickle being missing from his order. You know, it's a very weak individual who every time you look up, they're constantly talking about how they're having arguments with people and they went to this or that business and they didn't get this right. It's weak people who look for opportunities to try to flex at the local Waffle House or what have you. But again, this has all been happening under his parents' nose. They've known about it. Why hasn't anyone pulled his coat before now? Right. Personally, I think the parents are as complicit in his outburst as he is. This child was allowed to grow this behavior. And the mother stepping in to clown him on camera, that came off as an immature relationship with her own child. She was treating him like a teenager teasing one of her peers, instead of a mother looking to correct her child. You can tell his parents raised him more like they were his friends than that they were his parents. And I understand full well that a lot of us were raised by abusive parents, people who mistreated us. That being the case, a lot of people overcompensate when it comes to raising their own children. They react by deciding that since mom or dad or both were so hard on them growing up, they would do the opposite. They wouldn't be so hard on the kid. That's an overcorrection, and we need to understand that. But also, when he started deciding to get loud or whatever, the cameras should have gone off. This culture of living our lives through TikTok and Instagram videos, every minute of everyone's life has to be posted online regardless, that has to stop.
Right.
And as far as the mother holding the young man up for ridicule on a live stream, why didn't they just cut off the video when he was acting up? Why make a show out of it? The child reflects poorly on the father as proof that he doesn't respect them. But the parents can also reflect poorly on the child as having set a poor example. Looking at the multicolored dreads and how this young man's dressed and talking and how he tries to come off as a thug, he's cosplaying, but he was allowed to grow into that behavior. Though I'm sure that we can all agree on one thing. Considering the opportunities that this young man was born with and the fact that he's got resources that the vast majority of Black people can only dream of, it's a disgrace what he's doing. Every generation of Black children has to start from zero. This is why poverty is generational among our people. When parents don't focus on leaving an inheritance to their kids, their children have to start from scratch. And that becomes harder and harder in a world where the competition is only becoming more fierce. But there's also another factor that works against generational wealth. This is from the son's point of view. You probably heard the old saying about the first generation starts the business and the third generation closes it. That's because the first generation knows what it means to have to claw a future out of the cold, dead earth. That first generation doesn't want their children to have to go through the same things, though, because it was traumatic. Frankly, most of the time, the parents were merely trying to survive. So they try to make sure that their children have a cushier life than they did. That can become a problem when the child is not exposed to the real world. The child needs to have hardships in their life so that they can understand that the world is not an amusement park. Of course, nobody wants the child to grow up with emotional scars from having to claw their way out of poverty. But if that child does not understand how tough life can be, they're going to fall into poverty because they were coddled and pampered. That being the case, the child needs to be carrying those hard experiences from the lessons they learned, having to make a better life for themselves, as opposed to living the rest of their lives broke because they didn't realize what the money meant in the first place. It must be impressed upon a child how important it is to learn the family business and to protect it. While the parents can do their most to impress that upon the child, it's harder to do that with grandkids who are usually trust fund babies at this point. Having never had to work, all they know is how to spend money. They were never made to have to learn how to run the business or to grow it. No one took the time to teach them that the business is the only thing sustaining the family, and that if they blow it, the family goes right back to zero again. So the trust fund grandchildren usually wind up running the family business into the ground. What are they preparing this young man for? Judging by how he talks, dresses, and acts in public? Apparently not much. You know, this reminds me of Ja Morant. He's so desperate to be a gangster, but gangsters don't have multi-million-dollar NBA contracts or endorsement deals. It's so sad to see young Black people, especially young Black men who make it out of the ghetto, and for some strange reason, they want to go back. It's not merely ignorance on the young man's part, it's also a character flaw. I can't help but think of the movie The Godfather. Michael wasn't the heir apparent to his father's mafia crown. The elder brother, Sonny, played by James Caan, was. He was supposed to be their father's successor. In fact, Sonny made it a point to tease his younger brother, Michael, because Michael went to college and later the Marines, while Sonny spent his time being a playboy and a tough guy and taking care of the business. But Michael was the one who ultimately became Godfather because Sonny thought he was bulletproof and got himself killed. Meanwhile, Michael never lost his cool. He sized people up, looked for opportunities everywhere, and whenever he struck, he made sure to wipe out all the family's enemies. Going legit isn't easy. To make the transition from organized crime to organized corporation takes skill, patience, and observation. Traits that Sonny didn't have, but Michael did. Yes, survival is about being tough, but it's more about being intelligent and shrewd. These gangster rappers have to make a choice at some point. You can choose to be a businessman or a street dude, but you can't be both. Suge Knight tried. His first stint in prison apparently wasn't enough to get the lesson across that he needed to change. Then he lost death row records and still didn't get the lesson. I remember reading back in the day when he was doing time in Utah or Oregon or wherever he was in stir at, he was actually threatening Snoop Dogg, saying that when he got out of prison, he had all kinds of scores to settle. When you're young and you think you can afford to spend a few years in a cell, that kind of egomaniacal behavior may seem cute, but at some point, you're supposed to realize that you're wasting years you can't get back. And the worst way to spend your life is in a cage. But apparently he thought it was worth it, so he killed a man, and now he's serving a 28-year sentence. 7 years down, only 21 more to go, though he does become eligible for parole in 2034. But Suge Knight is 58 years old now. He's lost a decade of his life in prison, and it's not like he had any big business ventures going on the outside. What will he have when he gets out? A punked out senior citizen ex-con with no prospects. You know, he collapsed in court when the judge hit him with that $25 million bail, and he was crying at sentencing. I can't really blame him. To have one's entire life blown away in an instant, the older you get, the less cute being in prison becomes. I wonder if anyone's ever impressed this upon King, that if he wants to be a street dude, this is where he winds up. He thinks he's not being respected now. Let him have to eat a 28-year sentence. See if anybody respects him then. But that's what happens when you decide you're not going to cut ties with the street life. Dr. Dre saw the writing on the wall. So did Ice Cube and Snoop. That's why they're rich and free to this day and planning what white media figures behinds they want to kiss this week. But I suppose that does beat spending your golden years taking prison showers with a bunch of other dudes and staring at the same four walls every day while wondering what, if anything, you'll do, supposing you get out. This incident with T.I. also reminds me of a number of black celebrity fathers, sadly. 50 Cent's another case, his son trying to imply that he was a deadbeat dad, not because he didn't pay child support, but because the son said that it wasn't enough. Apparently $6,700 a month isn't enough for child support. This young man is 25 years old, by the way, and saying that he wants his father to pay child support. Talk about failure to launch. 50 didn't have custody of the boy, but whomever the woman was who did have custody, I guess he figured he would support them for life. This was a case that should never have become public, but the son chose to do that. And for what? When a black man comes up in the world and actually has a couple of nickels to rub together, where children are concerned, he has to hold the reins tighter, not looser. Just take a look at Dwayne Wade. He's got his son out there just doing whatever. And as for Will Smith, his son is basically a circus freak at this point. Things are so janky over at the Smith household, it's not even funny. Black celebrity fathers have been taking a lot of body blows lately. We won't even discuss the mess with John Amos and his daughter. Trying to raise children is hard. Raising them with the intent that they walk a different path in life than you did is harder. But to do it under the constant lights of the media is harder still. We live in a sad age. You got a bunch of attention whoring going on, people trying to be Instagram famous, and other folks trying to be things they aren't. Now, this young man feels clearly that he's not being respected, and he's right. He's a kid. If he wants to get respect, then he should try actually building something first. But it's far easier to yell and shout about how street you are and telling people to test your gangster. The point of gangster rap, for those who are not exploiting it, is that you're talking about the harsh and recidivist realities of the street, along with the struggles that go with it. But ultimately, the goal is to climb out of that. You want to get your piece of the world so you don't have to be out in the streets. That's supposed to be the point. Some people, though, have taken a fact of life and are trying to make it into a way of life. But there's no life in the streets, only an early death. Now, while there's certainly plenty of blame to go around, ultimately it rests on the shoulders of King. His big issue is he hasn't accepted himself. See, this is the problem with our having allowed the white media to make the definition of black and hood synonymous. You can't be black without the hood, the white media teaches, but that's not true at all. We have been robbed of the ability to define ourselves, but we've also played along with a dangerous definition of blackness that doesn't serve our power. And some of the gangster rappers need to take a look at how they've played a part in all this. What you see this young man doing is an example of that shameful confluence of factors. A young man living in the shadow of his father, living a lifestyle that's the opposite of what his father portrays, and wanting to be taken seriously. As a parent, you can't afford to blur the line between reality and fantasy. Children need a stern upbringing, especially if you intend to give them a multi-million-dollar inheritance. Their lives should revolve around that, how to grow the family fortune. Once your family has the bag, you got to make sure you don't drop it. The Harris family needs to do a real gut check about how they've raised that young man, and he has a lot of learning to do himself. Though I got to tell you, he's off to a slow start. Good day, and be one. I'd like to take a moment to mention some of our contributors. Shabazz, Gwendolyn Langston, Envision That, Lawrence Shaver, and Joshua Daniels. Salute to them and thank you to everyone for listening, liking, and sharing this message. Black empowerment only exists because of you.
All right. So, Sandman is definitely creeping in, y'all. So we got I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, so there's the whole T.I. thing. Man,
yeah, and with T.I. and the kid, the professor's right, man. You know, the little rich kid syndrome, you know what I'm saying? Basically like the little spoiled brat, you know, got beside himself. And then, you know, it's the imagery, you know, of the genre of the music itself, as the professor was elaborating on, what made this young man figure he could do that. Not to mention at the same token, all this coming about, well, I'm T.I.'s son, you know, I'm a spoiled little brat. I could do this. Hey, all you motherfuckers bow down to me and all that old type of shit, you see. And that's where he got a severe education. And T.I., you know, went on and dealt with his son and what have you. But this is why I reach out, trying to reach out, you know, through our platforms to these rappers. Hey, man, y'all need to take that money, man. I ain't going to try to tell you how to spend your money because the only thing you won't say to me, well, Shabaka, you all ain't shit, man. You know, we made this money, this, that, that, the other. But you probably would have less problems if you went up there and reinvested that money in the community and changed the narrative on that shit and turned it into something positive. Yes, it's because them white folks who's giving you them damn contracts like Universal Music Group and shit, they don't give a fuck about your black ass, man.
No, not at all.
And I'm telling them all that. Cube, Snoop Dogg, all of that. You all know that. You all know Los Angeles. I grew up in the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, then the little kid, you know, he's got issues, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't no thug, you know, because if he steps to some real gangsters, you see what I'm saying? They will humble his ass, if you know what I mean. You see what I mean? Okay. And then, so what it is, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, is because, see, I'm on my way out on my biological clock, is that for you brothers that made that money, man, pool those damn resources, man, in the rap industry, in Hollywood, just like I said, in pro sports, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, man, start owning your own companies, man, your own conglomerates and all that. Now, the ones who you're answering to, you all got to keep your cohesiveness together. So therefore, when they turn the screws to you, you all are solid as a rock. And remember from the Montgomery bus boycott of 1955. You see what I'm saying? Same rule applies right here on an economical basis. Just like that fuck who said for the Washington Commanders, well, if you niggas don't like what we're doing, form your own teams. Go right ahead. And I'm so glad to see the Commanders get the living dog shit stomped out of them, too. Every time they lose, I rejoice just for that shit. Come on, black man and woman. We ain't stupid. We built the pyramids. We gave the world the concept of navigation and all that. Come out of this ass-scratching, Yasa-Boston ass syndrome, man, because it didn't work, and it ain't gonna work. It's designed to fail. This is why these fucking immigrants is coming over here getting all these goddamn benefits that we supposed to be having over here. You see what I'm saying? And just like with Dr. Anderson, it said 10 years ago what he predicted this. You know what I'm saying? And he was about 90% right. You see? because, you know, social media is growing more and more every day. It's the artificial intelligence that's doing. That needs checks and balances on it too. They say the same thing with these music industries, with these brothers' music.
Biden did pass some regulations on it, but we basically going to do a whole show on that, detailing what that is and what that looks like, as well as the black text.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir. You know,
Shabaka, because Slant Sandman is definitely creeping in on me. So
yeah, man, it's time to throw the towel in, and again, it's getting with me too. So therefore, we appreciate everybody, you know, checking us out here, Front Line Blacc News. Definitely check out Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, in which Brother Che is the co-executive producer of. Definitely on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. You know, send in your hate mail in our chat room. We'll be happy to read it, you know what I'm saying, and laugh at it and what have you. And then, of course, we appreciate our supporters as well, too, over the years, you know, that did positive things about it. It is controversial of what we do, but there's no change without controversy.
Do we have the topic for Tuesday yet?
Not yet, Brother Che, because I'm leaning toward the current political fervor. You know, the presidential situation that's coming up, man, because that's going to be starting next month. Because they're already getting ready, you know, to start the campaigns, you know, for next year, the caucuses, the primaries, and all that. It's going to be a fucking circus. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we could have an open mic on it, but you're the co-executive producer, brother. You know, you got the juice, man, to figure out the type of a show if you so desire, man, you know, or we can get together. But also, too, we want to give a shout out to Ms. Rosa Sparks. You know, she's the content creator, you know, heavy duty, very major on Twitter. And we are in negotiations with her of asking her to come on the show, you know, to do an hour. And I'll keep you all posted up on that, and go to our like page about the Black Experience Enhanced, you know, where you can leave your comments, you know, for our supporters and well wishers, and our haters. Definitely leave your hate mail right there. We will read your garbage, you know what I'm saying? Hell, you can even call in on the air and vent your hatred toward us, because we speak against the popular version of what is true, okay? Because we ain't going to sit up here and believe that these damn transformers can menstruate. And then another disgusting thing too, Brother Chad, came across is that the transformers, they're shoving a tomato paste up their ass, man, you know, to simulate a menstrual cycle.
I know, I shared that. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, it's sick, man. Very sick. Very sick. You know, very sick. Man. But even still, it sounds like that these motherfuckers is going to try to step to us on our challenge, man, but they're going to try to come to us with tomato paste.
It's $200.
Huh?
The wage is $200.
Yes. So okay.
You can't prove that, you know, that's your actual blood. Ugh. And
yes.
You can't menstruate and ovulate. You're gonna pay us $2,000, and you can send it to this or this PayPal right here.
Yes. Yes, sir. And we're not going for the tomato paste trick, okay? So we're letting that be known now.
It has to be your actual fucking blood. Ugh.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we know it's impossible for them to do it. Okay, but like we said, you know, they got their human rights and their civil rights, and we do try to be civil with them, but they damn sure don't want to be civil with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
They sure the fuck don't.
All right, well, I'm a big fan. Thank you for coming on, and thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
This episode of the Front Line.
Brother Che.
We're doing a part 3 tomorrow. Council. Oh Lord, don't start. Don't start no mess.
And be sure to feed the ponies their oats in the barn tonight, man.
Broncos, the best horses around.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, so good night from Las Vegas, from Sin City. Okay, brother Che, have a nice night, sir. And thank you
too,
for having me on. All right. Okay.
So just want to conclude season 3, episode 35, part 2 of the Front Line Blacc News. We'll be doing a part 3 sometime tomorrow evening, or later on, because it's already 1 o'clock in the morning here where I'm at in the mall, high income city. So migrant flooded city in addition to that. So the topics we didn't get to are Jonathan Major's trial begins in New York.
Okay.
After numerous delays, and New York City Mayor Eric Adams' sexual assault allegation case, and then our Unhoused Neighbor News, Unhoused Neighbor Sweep. So check us out.
Yes, sir.
Later on today, it's Monday now. So Monday evening after City Council, probably about 9 p.m. your time in the Pacific, Shabaka, for part 3.
All righty.
In the meantime, make sure you like us to all of our platforms, Front Line Blacc News on YouTube and Facebook, The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced on Facebook and Twitter, now X, at Shabaka EXP. So peace, love, light, revolutions, and separations, and Black empowerment. We will see y'all
always
later on today. Peace.
Yes, sir. All right. Okay.